On a rainy day in South Florida, there is a storm brewing inside Hertz Arena as it's a battle for first in the South as the Florida Everblades host the Atlanta Gladiators on a Saturday night on the last day of January. Good evening, everyone. Guy Chiarenza with you here from Hertz Arena in Estero, Florida. If tonight's game is anything like we got last night, we are in for a treat, as yesterday was the Gladiators capping off their biggest comeback of the season with an Isaac Walter overtime goal to make it a 5-4 Gladiator victory in this building. Tonight, the Gladiators will not only look for first place in the South Division as they head to their final game of their 7-game road trip to Greensboro on Tuesday, they will also look to do something that they have never done in their franchise's history, and that is sweep the Everblades in a 3-game slate here in South Florida. If anything has told us in the past about this Gladiators team, it's that they are unlike any Gladiators team that we have ever seen before. So don't put it out of the question. We've got a good one on tap here tonight from Hertz Arena. With their amazing comeback win last night, the Gladiators are now up to 27-9-1 on the season. They have 55 points on the campaign. They are currently sitting in South Place in the division, winners of their last 4 points in each of their last 7 games. That is their longest such streak of the season to this point. For the Everblades, they are sitting at 25-9-5-1. With 56 points, they're just 1 point ahead of the Gladiators, and they are losers of their last 2 to these Atlanta Gladiators. And it means that tonight, with a win in regulation or overtime, the Gladiators will have sole possession of first place in the South, but they will also have the head-to-head record this season, as it is the 4th out of 7 meetings between these two teams this season and the final here in South Florida in the regular season. But something tells me that these two teams might see each other sometime later on in the spring when the weather gets a little bit warmer and a little bit nicer outside. Atlanta, again, points in 7 straight games. Incredible what they've been able to do on this road trip. Since their 3-game losing streak, 2 to Savannah, 1 to Greenville, they have now rattled off points in 7 straight games with a 6-0-1 record in that span. Then they hit the road for their longest road trip of the season, and they're 4-0-1 on that. There is just no slowing down these Atlanta Gladiators, although they are a bit banged up coming into tonight's matchup. We'll talk about that when we get to the lines here from South Florida. But first, let's get to last night. It was quite a comeback for the ages for the Gladiators, and I think I might just let the highlights speak for themselves. Here are the highlights from the Gladiators' 5-4 overtime victory last night here in South Florida. From the red line, Lynn will wire it in. He takes another check from Lansdale. Lansdale's decked by Nychuk and tempers flare in front of the Florida bench. Meanwhile, Duke goes up ice, Spinorama in tight, and Septenfelter makes the save. And now the whistle blows. We've got a penalty as Lind and Lansdale, Nychuk in the area as well, are still going at it. 4:07 gone by in the first, and this one is getting nasty. Middle, moving to the left wing is Romano. Backhand chance, Septenfelter the save. Rebound is kicked in, and they score. Rebound goes to Florida. Slapper from Allen. Kick save, Septenfelter. Rebound chance goes wide from Nerd. They get it back in the near corner, slide it up the wall to Sillinger. From the left circle, throws it across, shot from there, and they score. McNamee from the line as Nychuk left circle. He'll shoot from there. Save made, rebound. They score! It's Nolan on the power play, and Atlanta has made it a 2-1 game. Cross ice as Francis on the fly, drops it off. Nychuk dangles and shoots. He scores! Chad Nychuk ties it at 2 with 5:09 to go in the second. Down the middle, takes a shot sticked away by Cranley. Out in front, Francis is stuffed at the goal line by Cranley. Now a Cipolone shot. He scores! Gladiators take the lead. Joey Cipolone, 3-2 Atlanta. From the end wall, Gladiators lift it up and it's flagged down. Chance in tight, they score. What a play from Anthony Romano. He has tied the game on the failed clearing attempt from Atlanta. Cross ice feed on the money for a shot. They score. It's It's Romano again, and Florida has taken the lead back at 4-3. Puts it up top to Nychuk. Pump fake, takes a shot. They score! Nychuk from downtown, and we're tied at 4 with 1:48 to go. Keeps it in the zone, though. Young pivots towards the goal, feeds it to Walter. Walter shoots, he scores! Isaac Walter calls game, and the Gladiators win an amazing game, 5-4. The Gladiators victorious 5-4 in overtime last night. It was their biggest comeback win of the season. Prior to last night, the Gladiators didn't have a comeback greater than one, coming from behind one goal. Last night, they came from behind from multiple deficits. First 2-0 in the first period, and then later on, late in the third period, from down 4-3 to win 5-4 in overtime. Craig Needham got the scoring started for the Everblades, ended up scoring on a 4-on-4 after a bit of a brawl to start the game. Reed Duke then scored on the power play for Florida to make a 2-0 Everblade lead. But late in the first period, the Gladiators finally got something going. On the power play, Ryan Nolan scores to make it a 2-1 game heading into the locker room. And I really feel like that goal changed the dynamic of last night's game, because if Nolan doesn't score that goal in the power play in the first period, there are really no positives for Atlanta offensively in that first period in Friday's game. But they do get some life with that power play goal from Nolan, and they run with it in the second period. It wasn't instant, but the Gladiators did turn the tides of the game as Nychuk scored to make it 2-2, and then Cipolone made it 3-2 Atlanta after 2 periods of play. But then the Everblades came storming back again, as in the third period, Anthony Romano potted 2 of his own to make it a 4-3 Florida lead, before Chad Nychuk got his second of the night to make it a 4-4 tie with 1:48 left in regulation to send the game to overtime. And then Isaac Walter took care of the rest in the overtime period to make it a 5-4 Gladiators comeback victory. Chad Nychuk had a game for the ages. In fact, the best game of his career. 2 goals and 2 assists for his first career 4-point game. In the clutch, Nychuk put the team on his back and helped the Gladiators to victory. But it really was a full team effort last night from Atlanta, as guys all throughout the lineup were really playing on their A game. And, there's something to be said about going up against the champs. You can play Greenville a million times a year, and all those games are fun. And, every night 2 points is always on the line. Doesn't matter who you're playing. But there is something different about playing the 3-time Kelly Cup champions this decade from 22, 23, 24, and the reigning South Division champions from last year in the Florida Everblades. And there is something else to be said about doing it in this building, their home barn, and disappointing their fans like that. The Gladiators have come to play, and they have made that very apparent over the last 2 games. And again, they will look to do something that no Gladiators team has ever done before: sweep the Everblades in a 3-game set here in South Florida. TJ Semptimphelter stopped 33 of 37 for his 13th victory of the season. Will Cranley suffered just his 3rd loss of the season, stopped 20 of 25 for the Everblades. Tonight, we will once again see the goaltending battle that we saw on Wednesday night, as it'll be Ethan Hyder going up against Cam Johnson. So, for the second time this week, it'll be the reigning ECHL goaltender of the week, and Ethan Hyder up against the reigning ECHL goaltender of the year in Cam Johnson. And that matchup on Wednesday night did not disappoint. Remember, it was Ethan Hyder who logged a 21-save shutout for his first shutout of the season, and what was a 2-0 Gladiator victory in this building to kick off the 3-game slate. We'll see if Hyder can stay red hot here tonight against the Everblades, as he really has been the ECHL's best goaltender since that drubbing against the Savannah Ghost Pirates a few weeks ago. And for Hyder, he has been known to bounce back, and he has bounced back in a big way since then, as the Gladiators have been one of the hottest teams in the ECHL since that point. And can't count out Cam Johnson as well. That's a guy that knows how to win. We got a good goaltending duel here tonight from Hertz Arena. We come back to South Florida. We will have the keys to the game presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda. We will also take a look at the starting lineups here tonight and preview this matchup a little bit more, as we're getting closer to the 4th battle of the year between the Atlanta Gladiators and the Florida Everblades. We are back after these words from our ECHL partners.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; AthleticNet, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
It's been a rainy day here on the final day of January here in South Florida. Sounds like everybody back at home in Atlanta got some snow here today, so hopefully everybody is staying warm and enjoying the snow as much as they can and staying safe and enjoying some Gladiators hockey here tonight. For the Gladiators, they will head back to Atlanta at the end of tonight's game and then get a day off and then go right to Greensboro for the game on Tuesday in the final game of the 7-game road trip. And the Gladiators have really impressed throughout the course of this road trip, as it really felt like when this came out on the schedule that it was going to be a make or break point of the Gladiators season, whether or not they had a winning or losing record at this stage in the year, and they have far and away exceeded expectations, going 4-0-1 on this road trip so far. That started at North Charleston Coliseum last Friday night, and what was a 3-2 overtime loss to the Stingrays. The Gladiators have won 4 straight since then, and they are showing no signs of slowing down. Let's get to the keys to the game, presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda, with our head coach, Matt Ginn. And key number 1 is to stay the course. It is getting towards the end of the longest road trip of the season, but the Gladiators still have 2 more games to go. And so key number 1 is to just stay the course. The Gladiators know that if they play their game, they will win. And that turnaround last night was apparent that rings true. Second key is to win the gritty areas. We're going to see when we get to the lineups here tonight, Florida has got some big bruisers, and we saw that in the first 5 minutes of last night's game. For the Gladiators, win those gritty areas, you get puck possession. That is a key to victory, and our second key of the game. And finally, the third key is to manage the puck. Sweet but simple. Gladiators need to find a way to make smart decisions with the puck, especially going up against the reigning South Division champs and Kelly Cup champions in 2022, 2023, and 2024. All those banners hanging in this building. In the back of the end zone to my left, Gladiators with a couple of statement wins earlier in the week in this building, looking to cap it off with a third and sweep the Everblades in their own barn here tonight in what is sure to be another packed crowd at Hertz Arena. I have not yet received the lineups from the Everblades here tonight, and so we will take a look at the Gladiators starting lineup to start. We'll change things up a little bit, as normally we start with the visitors. Starting at left wing for your Atlanta Gladiators is number 61, Kaylin Lind, standing at 6'1", 165. Native of Swift Current, Saskatchewan, is under contract with the Gladiators' NHL affiliate, the Nashville Predators. Lind had 2 assists in last night's game for his second career multi-point game at the pro level. Lind now has 3 goals and 9 assists for 12 points in 22 games. His starting center is number 71, Joey Cipollone, standing at 5'11", 192. Native of Purchase, New York, now has 9 goals and 8 assists for 17 points in 37 games as he scored the go-ahead goal to make it 3-2 for the Gladiators last night. His starting right wing is number 86, Ryan Francis, standing at 5'9", 176. The Halifax, Nova Scotia native also had 2 assists in Friday night's win. He now has 3 goals and 16 assists for 19 points in 37 games. Starting at left defense is number 8, Ryan Conroy, standing at 5'9", 185. Native of Chestermere, Alberta, will be paired up with number 74, Dylan Carabia, back in his home state, standing at 6'3", 200. Native of Sebastian, Florida, played in front of some family last night. Certainly an awesome sight. Carabia and Conroy get the start on the back end. And your starting netminder here today is number 31, Ethan Hyder, standing at 6'4", 190. Native of Maple Grove, Minnesota, is under contract with the Gladiators AHL affiliate, the Milwaukee Admirals, and is coming off of his best performance of the year, in which he stopped 21 saves for his first shutout of the season and his 5th career professional shutout on Wednesday night against the Everblades. Hyder, in 19 games this season, has a record of 14-4. Those 14 wins are second most out of any goaltender in the ECHL. He has a 2.24 goals against average and a .926 save percentage, along with that 1 shutout. And one has been an exceptional campaign so far for Hyder. Other news for the Gladiators, Zach Yoder is out of the lineup. Left the game early in the first period, did manage to come back for the final 2 periods, but he is not in the lineup here tonight. Instead, it'll be Carson Denemy sliding in as the defenseman listed on the line chart, although it might end up being 13 forwards and 5 defensemen for the Gladiators here today. And other news, the pride of Sugar Hill, Georgia, Connor Galloway makes his season debut wearing number 20. He'll be on the 4th line with Ethan Scardina and Ryan Nolan. Galloway had a good stint with the Huntsville Havoc earlier in the 2025-26 campaign. He was actually with the Gladiators during training camp. Ends up going to Huntsville, where he logged 7 goals and 11 assists for 18 points in 23 games. Good to see him back in the Gladiators uniform. He will be in the lineup for the first time here tonight with Scardina and Nolan. And with that, we know our officiating crew is here. From the Boo Birds, from the crowd, it is a 3-man crew here tonight, led once again by referee Will Kelly. Linesmen are number 49, Nathan Frechette, making his first appearance of the 3-game slate, and number 50, Jason Lordy, who we saw last night in the Friday night comeback win between these 2 teams. Other notables for the Gladiators here today, Nolan Orzek is playing in his 200th professional game. Orzek playing in game number 13 with the Gladiators since the trade that sent him here on December 29th. So congratulations to Nolan Orzek. He will once again be paired up with Andrew Jarvis here today. And for the Gladiators all season long, it's really been a next man up mentality. And we'll see if they can get the job done again here tonight. With Yoder out of the lineup, the Gladiators are depleted on the back end. Brendan Less still on IR, dealing with an injury, as is Riley Appelt. And so the Gladiators are down a D-man, and they're going to have to find a way to scrape together another victory here on the road before they can get back home after this one, before they head to Greensboro on Tuesday. It's not going to be easy. The Everblades are the reigning South Division champs, and they have the home crowd on their side, but for the Gladiators, they have proven over the last week or so that they don't care too much about that. All they care about is winning. And so Ethan Hyder will lead the charge between the pipes as he looks to pick up win number 15 of the season. Across from him is number 33, Cam Johnson, getting the start for Florida. They didn't send me their starting lineup, but I do know that Johnson gets the nod between the pipes. Johnson stands at 6'1", 205. Native of Troy, Michigan, has been there, done that. He's been in the ECHL for a long time. This will be his 226th game in the ECHL. Johnson making his 23rd start of the season with a record of 11-6-4-1 and a 2.31 goals against average and a .903 save percentage. He is a formidable opponent. Hyder won the first duel on Wednesday night. We'll see how the rematch goes here on the last day of January from South Florida. Other news for the Everblades, Gianfranco Casaro, their defenseman, ended up having a hamstring issue during last night's game. He is out of the lineup as the Everblades will start their 3rd line of Logan Lambden, Kyle Betts, and Isaac Nurse to start. Actually, they're going to send out the guy I was going to talk about next. Kyle Neuber is actually going to get the start for the Everblades, and that is a guy that has the 6th most penalty minutes amongst active players in the ECHL at 936. Looks like the Everblades might be trying to make a statement to start here, as Neuber gets the start with Lambden and Betts, making his 5th appearance of the season. On the back end, it'll be Cade Landry paired up with number 6, Jordan Sambrook. And with that, we will turn our attention down to center ice, as it'll be the national anthem here from South Florida. That concludes the Gladiators pregame show. We'll have first period action coming up next. We are all set and ready to go from Hertz Arena in South Florida. Gladiators and the Everblades for the 3rd time this week. Atlanta won the first 2, and they're looking to do something that they have never done in their history, dating back to 2003, and that is sweep the Everblades in a 3-game set in this building with a win on Wednesday night. 2-0 shutout from Ethan Hyder and a 5-4 comeback overtime win last night. They are in position to do so, but something tells me that this game is going to be a sluggish one, and it's going to take everything that the Gladiators have got, because the Everblades have a sour taste in their mouths as the way things went on Wednesday and Friday night, and that is apparent With their starting lineup, for those of you who missed it, Everblades starting Logan Lambden, Kyle Betts, and Kyle Newber as their starting forward group. Starting D pairing is Cade Landry and Jordan Sambrook. Our two netminders here tonight. Cam Johnson starts for Florida as we get a rematch of the duel on Wednesday night. Johnson going up against Gladiators netminder Ethan Hyder, former 5th-round draft pick of the Nashville Predators back in 2019. Hyder with a record of 14-4, a 2.26 goals against average, .926 save percentage, and 1 shutout on the season, going up against Johnson with a record of 11-6-4-1, a 2.31 goals against average, and a .903 save percentage. Last time we saw Johnson, again, was on Wednesday night where he stopped 19 of 21, and Hyder stopped 21 of 21 for his 5th career professional shutout. The Gladiators are red hot, points in each of their last 7. They are 4-0-1 on their road trip, looking to add 1 more win and 2 more points under their belts before they are off to Greensboro on Tuesday night. Joey Cipollone will take the opening faceoff against Kyle Betts. 3-man officiating crew led by referee Will Kelly. Linesmen are Nathan Frechette wearing number 49 and Jason Lordy wearing number 50. And off the opening drop, the Gladiators pound it into Florida ice. Everblades volley it through the neutral zone. Lambden on the left side tries to reel it in, puts it behind the net. Wanted Betts, but good play by Conroy to beat him out to it. And the Gladiators will shuffle it out to the neutral zone. Sean Allen takes it in at center circle, winders it from corner to corner to the near side. Waiting there is Lambden, but he can't keep it in, and it'll trickle all the way down to Florida ice, and it will end up being an icing on the Gladiators 29 seconds in. And so, must have just been a bluff to start. Newber on that starting line for Florida. No fireworks so far. Face off to the right of Ethan Hyder in the opening minute of this one. Florida gets a line change in, send out their first line. Oliver Chow with Craig Needham and Anthony Romano. Romano, 2 goals and 1 assist in last night's game for Florida. His second 3-point game of the season. Francis over the red line as Conroy in motion. From the left wing, he shoots, hits a stick, and goes high and wide over the head of Johnson. Shot by Young from the right point, wide as well. Walter from the left circle, cuts to the inside. Walter just shuffles it wide of the net to pick up his own rebound in the near corner. Walter probing for it, can't hang on. Chow and company move out to the neutral zone, and now Atlanta territory. Pass across through the slot, away from Chow. Shot from the wing by Needham, snapped up by Hyder, and he will freeze 1:02 into the first period. Gladiators will get a personnel change, wearing their white jerseys with blue numbers and Gladiator gold trim. They're skating from left to right to start. Everblades wearing those same specialty jerseys that they wore last night. Blue jersey with white numbers and orange trim. They are skating from right to left to begin. Face off to the right of Hyder, won by O'Brien as the second line is on. Shot from the line by Landry, goes over the head of Hyder. Rebound to Lansdale from the right wing, has it scrubbed off his stick. Gladiators toss it to the near side in hopes of finding Mickey Burns. Burns pivots at the half wall, but there's 2 Everblades there. Can't outwork the team with numbers as Florida scrambles up the wall. O'Brien does a good job of tying up Lansdale, but little too well. And we have a penalty. 1:31 in. O'Brien's going to sit for holding, and the first power play of the night is going to belong to Florida. The Gladiators are off to the Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda penalty kill. Atlanta went 1 for 2 on the penalty kill last night. Florida scored its second goal of Friday night's affair on the power play. Reed Duke was the one who scored that. And we will see the unit of Nychuk, Cipollone, Jarvis, and Denemy to start the penalty kill for Atlanta. Gladiators win the face-off. Nychuk quickly to Denemy, and he will lob it through the neutral zone and all the way down for a Gladiators clear. So interesting look to start. Cipollo and Denemy, the two forwards. Nychuk and Jarvis, the two defensemen. Florida comes in on the right side. Centers looking for Betts. Couldn't quite flag it down as it moves to the near side. From the corner, both teams probing at it. Cipollone's able to dig it free and mail it down for another Gladiator clear. They've already shaved off 30 seconds. Now it's Betts over the red line, feeding it to his left for Sillinger. Orzek meets him at the line as the puck drifts deeper. From the corner, Young slaps it away from Betts. In the far corner, Everblades take it back in. From the right point, Landry downhill as it boomerang back to him. Powers it into the near corner. Off the wall, it goes to Betts. From the trapezoid, sets up a one-timer from the right circle. That goes wide. Off the stick of Reed Duke. Gladiators were able to squash it to the line, but not out. Here's Duke on the right wing, setting up Landry. Quick touch pass. Duke's got it again. Shot from the circle is absorbed by Hyder with 49 seconds left on the penalty to O'Brien. 2:42 gone by in the first period here. Everblades out shooting the Gladiators 3-0 as Atlanta will swap out penalty killers. As it'll be Nychuk with Grabia, Nolan, and Scardina on the face-off to the left of Hyder. Everblades win it at the line. Sambrook pushing left, takes the return feed. Now moves it left side for Romano. Shot in front, sticked away by Hyder. Everblades keep it at the line. Setting up Romano from a left wing shot. That's kicked away by Hyder. And the rebound is caromed out to center. Gladiators will punch it down. And just 25 seconds left on the penalty to O'Brien. Everblades come bursting back in. Chow from the left circle takes a shot out the outside of the net. Rebound bobbled and sent out to the neutral zone by Nychuk, and a little bit more as it carries all the way down to Johnson, and that should just about do it to the penalty to O'Brien. It's a successful Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda penalty kill, and the Gladiators are back to full strength. O'Brien won't rejoin the play. He'll go to the bench as Francis comes on. Puck goes to the end wall of Atlanta's end. Jarvis is there to meet it. Florida tries to rip it away, and they do. Nurse from the right wing puts it up top. Shot from there, directed wide of Hyder. Everblades keep it at the line. Shot by Cooper into the glove of Hyder. 16:04 to go in the first. And already is a 6-0 lead in the shot count. Make that 7-0 in the shot count in favor of Florida. As they add another one there, but it is a job well done on the penalty kill for the Gladiators, and now they need to find a way to turn the tide of the momentum in this game and generate something offensively. Face off to the left of Hyder, won by Florida. From the right point, shot by Berzola, is blocked between the circles. They'll dig at it as the puck floats wide of Hyder. Conroy from the far side tries to help it out. Puck ping-pongs to the line, and Walter will skate it free. From the red line, Sylvester winds it to the right wing for Young. Tried to dump it deeper, but Berzola got in front of it. Now Cooper able to squirm out to center, and not much more. Atlanta back with the puck as Conroy over the red line fires it from corner to corner. Sylvester from the right wing takes it in, centers it to the slot, but nobody was there. Now Neuber bangs it off the wall and out to center. It'll skip onto the stick of Nychuk. He quickly floats it to Sylvester at the attacking line. And he narrowly evades a check from Henry there. Henry has to pick up his stick as Burns centers for Sylvester. Puck hops off his stick. Captain can't quite reel it in. On the second attempt, does get it back. Puts it behind the net, but Burns couldn't quite grab it. And now the Everblades will skate out to center as the puck leaps into the Florida bench with 5:01 gone by in the first. And already Kyle Neuber barking at the Gladiators on the ice. And for those of you who are just joining us, Zach Yoder is out of the lineup here today. Connor Galloway is in. Gladiators dressing 13 forwards and 5 defensemen. And Carson Denemy, who is listed on the line chart as a defenseman, is paired up with Chad Nychuk right now at the left defense position as the Gladiators' second line is on the ice. Lansdale Just a scurry down the left wing. Nychuk pokes it to Denemy. Looking up ice, feeds it up to Burns over the red line. Has O'Brien on the right wing. Cross ice again. Puck hops into the air. Lansdale will collect it and skate out to his own blue line, where pressure from McNamee is able to keep him at bay for the moment. Allen will lead the next charge for Florida. They'll tattoo it off the end wall. Hyder comes out to play it. From the right wing, setting up shop is Sambrook. Cross ice pass to Allen, goes out of the zone. And with 14:12 to go in the first period, he will backpedal into his own end of the ice. Gladiators getting a personnel change as the fourth line is on, and Connor Galloway, in his first game in a Gladiators jersey this season, is out on the ice. Allen up to the neutral zone as his pass intercepted by Orzek. From the right wing, tried to gain the attacking line, but he was shut down there by Berzola. Needham from the left wing looks to center. Broken up by Orzek. He'll take it out to neutral ice. Over center circle. Pop it into the near corner. Puck will go behind Johnson. It's retrieved by Landry. He'll put it up to the neutral zone for Chow. Drop pass on the run is Berzola. Backhand shot from the circle. Stopped by Carabia. Berzola hangs on to put it to the line. Shot by Landry. Kicked away by Hyder. Loose puck in the high slot. Florida knifes it to the left side for Landry, and that puck is played with a high stick, and so we will stop with 13:14 to go in the first. No score in this one as of right now. Gladiators and Everblades deadlocked to start. 13:14 to go in the first. We are back after this on the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Still no score here from Hertz Arena. 13:14 to go in period one. Neutral zone face-off. Cipollone against Needham, and the Gladiator is the victor, as they'll punch it in on the near side of the Everblades zone. From the corner, Berzola tries to knock it out and does. Lind will retrieve it in neutral ice. Tried to slingshot it in, but it's picked off by Landry. Everblades come flying up ice from the slot. Needham is cut off by Carabia. And now the Florida native for Atlanta will lift it up to Lind on the run. Trying to get around Berzola, but was forced to the outside. From the line, Francis retrieves the puck for Atlanta. He'll weave his way through the neutral zone as the Gladiators complete a partial change. Now Nychuk from the right wing angles it off the wall to Young. Take a shot from the wall. Kick save made by Johnson, his first of the night. Puck will go to the end wall. Young sets up Walter in the slot. Extra pass is punched away. From the right point, Nychuk feeds Sylvester. He'll peel up, scan his options, put a shot wide of the net. Denemy takes the rebound and his stick breaks. Florida trying to take advantage. Inadvertently ices the puck with 12:01 left in the period. Gladiators catch a lucky break. Denemy, I guess the luck actually kind of evens out. First it was unlucky because Denemy broke his stick, and then Florida tried to take advantage and ended up icing the puck, so the Gladiators got lucky there. And so the scales are balanced. We'll have a face-off to the right of Cam Johnson. O'Brien out there with the second line will take the face-off against Kyle Betts. And off the draw, Florida able to win it. They'll put it to the line. Denemy almost picked off the pass, but Landon comes away with it. Lambden centers. Touch shot just put wide by Nurse. Had an empty cage, and he just was off target. Gladiators catch a break. Denemy behind the net, looking up ice from the left wing. Floats it to neutral territory. Mickey Burns reels it in, distributes to O'Brien on the right side. He'll take a shot. Johnson the save. Rebound away from McNamee as Florida hustles up ice. Betts tries to shimmy it down the right wing. Actually hits the skate of the linesman. They'll help it to the near corner, where they'll put it to the slot. Directed wide by Sillinger. Denemy takes in the rebound. Backhands it to Nychuk in the trapezoid. Feeling pressure. Throws it up to the line. Ends up escaping the Gladiators zone. And Atlanta's able to make a change. Cooper bursting right back in, throws it behind Sillinger. Gladiators again bang it through the neutral zone as the puck trickles back to Florida ice. From the goal line, pressure put on by Galloway. Fourth line on the ice for the Gladiators. Allen over the red line, pops it into the near corner. Hyder's there behind the net, swirls it to the line, held in there for a shot that hits a man on the way and goes into the far corner. They'll battle for it there. Lansdale behind the cage, checked up by Scardina. Sillinger tried to hang on for Florida to keep possession, but Atlanta is able to scoot it out to the neutral zone. Galloway again putting on good pressure, forces a turnover in neutral ice. Gladiators give it right back to Lansdale. Has Sillinger on the move, takes a shot, save, Hyder, rebound available. Florida crashes the crease. Atlanta just pops it out of danger. And that'll be an icing on the Gladiators with 10:04 to go in the first period. And again, for the second straight night, Florida has been the better team offensively in the first period, outshooting the Gladiators 9-2. Face off to the left of Hyder on the far circle. Cipollone will take this face off for Atlanta. Going up against Kyle Betts as Neuber and Carabia are exchanging words. And off the face-off, Neuber touches it to the line. Gladiators slap it. They can't get it out. Puck will roll to the near corner. Carabia will collect it from there. Puts it up, turns it over to Jones. From the left circle, he shoots. And it goes off a stick and out of play with 9:48 to go. And afterwards, Carabia tied up with Neuber. It looks like Neuber wants Carabia to go, but Carabia not willing to dance at this juncture. This one's still very much young. 9:48 to go in the first period. No score from Hertz Arena. We are back after this.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery, tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Friday night's game was a little bit of an anomaly for the Gladiators in the game in which they gave up 2 first-period goals, something that hasn't happened all that often this season. In fact, I believe that was just the 5th time the Gladiators have given up 2 or more goals in the opening period. This one very much back to the original formula by the Gladiators. No scoring affair here in the first. In fact, no score. Florida looking to change that. Allen from the line. Feeds it to the left for Chow. From the circle, exchanges with Romano. He'll turn and shoot. That's blocked by Carabia. They'll hustle for it to the Florida blue line. Carabia tries to strip it away, but Romano able to hang on. And the Everblades will get it out to center. chip pass. Romano comes in. Florida offside. Fans not happy about it, but that stops the clock with 9:22 to go in the first. In what has been a rainy day in South Florida. Neutral zone face-off in front of the Gladiators bench. Young will take it. Needham will win it. Alex Young, with an assist yesterday, extended his point streak to 4 games with 2 goals and 3 assists in that span. Out there on the ice with Isaac Walter, who was in the middle of a 6-game point streak with 3 goals and 4 assists. At the right point, Florida takes it in, shot by Sam Brook. In balls behind Hyder. And now the puck will roll in on the Gladiator netminder, and he will cover with 8:58 to go in the first period. Florida's taking shots here in the first period, but haven't been able to find anything to go in their favor. For the Gladiators, they just have 2 on the board. And this first period, while it isn't a 2-0 Florida lead at this point, like it was last night, certainly very much feels like, once again, the Gladiators have gone cold in the offensive department, but they have stuck to their formula, and that is defense and goaltending first, and they've very much gotten that so far here in period 1. Walter out to the neutral zone, has it swindled away by Betts. He'll shuffle it down to the trapezoid. Hyder out to play it. He'll heave it to his left, held in Florida's grasp by Nurse. At the line, Berzola goes cross ice to Landry. Back to Berzola from the right point. He'll unload from there, off the end wall, right to Hyder. And he will freeze again with 8:30 left in the opening period. Faceoff will be to the left of Hyder, who's a former 5th-round draft pick of the Nashville Predators. 148 overall back in 2019. Currently under contract with the Milwaukee Admirals. Has spent the majority of the season with the Gladiators, although he did go up to Milwaukee and get his first AHL win on November 15th. With a 3-1 win over the Texas Stars. Is right in front of Hyder, turning and shooting his Betts. And Hyder robs him point blank. It's maybe his best save of the night. 8:20 to go in the first period, and Hyder's keeping the Gladiators in this one. As to this point, Florida has had the better chances offensively. Second line on the ice for the Gladiators. Face off again to the left of Hyder. Betts will take it up against O'Brien. And off that face-off, O'Brien wins it to Orzek. Looking uphill, feeds it to his right to Burns. Takes a check from Henry that knocks his stick out of his hands. Burns is able to collect it as Florida rolls out to the neutral zone. Pass across is picked off by Orzek. He'll take it in himself. Sets up O'Brien for a shot that's steered away by Johnson. Out of play with 7:59 on the game clock. And a game that has not had a whole lot of rhythm to it. Both teams will get a personnel change in, and the Gladiators will send the 4th line back out with Scardina, Nolan, and Galloway, who is making his season debut here tonight in South Florida. Was re-signed by the Gladiators not too long ago. Was actually with Atlanta during training camp. Ended up in Huntsville with the Huntsville Havoc. Scored 7 goals and 11 assists in 23 games with the Havoc this season before returning to the Gladiators. Nolan weaving through the neutral zone. Plops it in behind Johnson. Scardina is going to get to it first. From the far corner, turns to his forehand as Conroy was also in the area. They got sandwiched in a pack of Everblades. Florida able to come in on the right side of Atlanta's ice. They'll barge their way to the end wall. They'll trade it off to Sillinger. Working at the line, Sillinger has Berzola on the left side. Berzola scans the ice, drifting right, shoots to the goal. That goes wide of Hyder. Rebounds. Taken on the far wall by Cooper. Gladiators shove him off of it. They'll float it out to the neutral zone. Nolan able to drive upwards. Nolan all alone as his line mates go off for a change. Working hard, exchanges with Cipollone in the far corner. At the left point, Gladiators keep it alive. Lind leaves it for Nychuk. He will shoot off the stick of Allen and out of play with 6:48 left in the first period. And again, Florida trading personnel. Gladiators will leave the third line on the ice. And again, it was no fluke. Denemy and Nychuk has been their first D pairing so far here tonight. We'll have to ask Carson Denemy what his experience is playing as a defenseman in his career. He's a very good scoring forward with the Regina Pats before he turned pro. Over 100 professional points in the career of Carson Denemy. Tonight, little bit of a different assignment. Here he is defending Jones. Duke from the left circle takes a shot. Denemy gets down to take the angle. That goes wide of Hyder. Everblades work the puck over to the near side as Lind crunches an Everblade, then gets stood up by Lansdale. Things getting nasty here in the near corner. Delayed penalty, and now here we go. Tempers flare. Everybody piling up in the near corner of the Gladiators zone, and everybody's got a dance partner. It's a massive pile-up. Nychuk got 2 Everblades in his hands, and I don't see any gloves off at this point. Nychuk and Henry in a bit of a half fight, both with their gloves still on. Meanwhile, Duke has lost his lid, as is Kalen Lind. And it looks like Lind is off to the penalty box for the Gladiators, as there was already a delayed penalty on Atlanta. And I believe that is the penalty to Kalen Lind. But off to the box as well is Reed Duke, and so we'll see if we end up going 4-on-4 here or if it is a Florida power play for the second time tonight. It was Lind that threw the initial check, and then Lansdale came in and gave one to Lind. And then after that, everybody took notice and wanted in on the fun. And so now they're going to give cross-checking to both sides, I believe. Henry in the box, as is Duke. Looks like Nychuk's going to sit with Lind. 2 minutes on the board to Kalen Lind. And we will see if any time gets added to Florida. Remember, when we had an instance like this last night, in the opening 5 minutes, they sent us to 4-on-4, and this is our same referee that we've had all week, Will Kelly. And so we'll see if he goes back to that, as the precedent has already been set. 6:18 to go in the first period. The two captains, Chow and Sylvester, getting the verdict from our referee, Will Kelly. And judging by the facial expression of Cody Sylvester, not really arguing all that much. And now he will have a one-on-one chat with Will Kelly. And so now they put up 2 on the board to Nychuk, and it does appear as if Florida is going to the power play, which means the Gladiators are off to the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill. And now Matt Ginn, the Gladiators head coach, will get the official word from Kelly. But the Everblades have 5 men on the ice. And with the 2 minutes on the board to Nychuk, all indicators point to this being a Florida power play. And it will be. The Gladiators send out the penalty kill unit of Denemy, Cipollone, Conroy, and Orzek. Nychuk in the box doesn't make things any easier for these Gladiators. We'll start with a neutral zone face-off, though. That is won by Florida. Gladiators look to go 2 for 2 on the PK. Chow comes in on the left side, feeds it to Needham. Gladiators sniff that out. Good read by Cipollone along with Orzek. They will clear it down, and Florida will start its power play from the deep end. So it is cross-checking to Linz, roughing to Nychuk, along with a roughing minor to Henry. That has the Everblades on the power play. From the left point, Sandbrook feeds it across for a one-timer that hits a stick and pinballs wide of Hyder. They'll cycle it back up top as the errant pass from Romano goes by Sandbrook. It's a free clear for the Gladiators. Romano tries to come right back in. From the left wing, drops off to Chow. Put it to the line for Sandbrook. Cross ice has Lambden from the right circle. Puts it back to the line for Sandbrook. Sandbrook looking, feeds it left, now right. Chow to the inside, and they score. Romano from the blue paint, and the Everblades take a 1-0 lead. Crisp passing from Florida. Romano in the right place at the right time. All he had to do was whack it in, and the Everblades have the first goal of the night. Florida, when scoring first this season, is 17-3-4. They did score first last night in a game in which the Gladiators won. Atlanta, when trailing first, is 6-7. But a little bit of deja vu from last night to tonight. Groundhog Day, whatever you want to call it. It has not been a good first period offensively for these Gladiators. Still 5:05 left in it. Nychuk from the left wing has Walter on the move over center circle. Gladiators are stuffed at the line. Nychuk will just jolt it into the near corner. Working there hard for it is Walter. Berzola defending. Gladiators dig it free. Puck will roll around to the left wing. Nychuk pinching, can't keep it in. Florida out to center. Sylvester gets a stick in there as Young is upended by Jet Jones. Young back on his feet, grabs it at center circle, moving with Nychuk, pulls it back in at the right point. Steers it to the end wall and gets decked by Duke. Young able to pop back up, but he's unhappy. Meanwhile, Florida tries to come bursting down the middle. Young stands him up. Everblades get the puck back at the left point. Berzola sauces it down to the trapezoid. Centering feed off the stick of Betts and away from Hyder. 4:05 left in the first. Sillinger at the line. Quick touch play to Nurse. Centering feed off a stick in between the circles and snagged out of the air by Ethan Hyder with 3:55 to go. Timeout on the ice. We will take one as well. Florida has a 1-0 lead off a power play goal from Anthony Romano, his 17th of the year, from Logan Lambden and Oliver Chow. We are back to Hertz Arena after this from our local partners. Everblades have a 1-0 lead off of Anthony Romano's 17th goal of the season and his 5th on the power play. Both of those numbers the leader in the clubhouse for the Florida Everblades. Florida looking for more from the near corner. Bodies come together. Peeling it off the end wall is Jarvis. They quickly outlet off the stick of McNamee, and it'll end up jumping into the stands with 3:36 to go in the first period. And so one of the common themes from last night was when things got chippy and things got nasty, the tide of the game, the momentum turned in favor of the Everblades. And again, that's happened here tonight. When Florida was up 2-0 on Friday night, that's exactly where the game was. But when things were simmered down and the Gladiators were able to settle in and get back to their structure, that's when things moved into their favor. And so far in this game, the Everblades have taken command. Working in deep is O'Brien. A wrap around the boards to the right point for Orzek. Stutter step has Burns on the half wall. Takes a shot, save Johnson. Rebound goes to the near corner. Everblades fish it free from there. Pinned up against the wall. Betts trying to escape. Good pressure from O'Brien as the puck leaks free. Sambrook hauls it in. And he will just cast it to the neutral zone where it's gloved down by Jarvis. Taking it up ice. Barreling down the right wing. Pulls to a stop. Drives it down deeper as Francis steps onto the ice. Cipollone on the left side. Leaks it to the line. Lind swipes at it. A possession goes to the Everblades. Bouncing puck at center circle. Quickly tapped to Lind. Gladiators will shuffle it in on the near side where it's snagged by Henry. Everblades looking to escape. Francis working hard. Creates a turnover in the near corner. From behind the net, exchanges with Lind. They'll put it up top to Conroy. Fakes a shot. He'll drift down the ball. From the trapezoid, has Francis spinning, but the Everblades sniffed that out. Put it to the line, but Carabia keeps it in. They'll sauce it down behind the net to Francis. Tries to put it in front for Lind. Everblades cut that off and work their way out to center. Driving down the right wing is Neuber. Conroy able to defend nicely. They'll take it behind the net. Gets held up a bit by Lambden. They'll center for Henry. They'll drift to his right, move to his forehand, and backhand a chance to the slot. It'll end up getting swept away by Walter. 1:45 to play in the first period. Wrap around a chance off the outside of the net. Now at the right point, a shot by Berzola gets deflected out of play with 1:37 left in the first period. Coming up next on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, we will have the first intermission reports. We'll recap this first period, look ahead to the second, talk about what the Gladiators need to do to get some offense going in this game. And as always, some scores from around the league and within our own affiliation as well, as the Admirals are in action tonight. Talk all about it on the first intermission report. Gladiators win the defensive zone faceoff. Walter scurries out to center, but he's washed off the puck by Chow. Florida carries in. Chow quickly to Romano. Centering feed is blocked by Denemy. He'll locate Young, moving up the ice. Walter on the right wing puts a shot off the blocker of Johnson. Rebound plops down in the far circle. Florida able to twist it to the neutral zone, but possession goes right back to Denemy. And Sylvester on the right wing. He'll center for Walter. Puck will glance off his skate and roll in on Johnson, who will cover up with 1:04 to go in the first period. Gladiators got a line change in. On will come Scardina, Nolan, and Galloway, that fourth line for Atlanta. The new look here tonight, with Galloway making his season debut. And Scardina, a bit underrated in my opinion. Good forechecking forward, good two-way forward. First-year pro out of Bowling Green State. He'll take this face-off against Jet Jones. Jones will win it. And Sambrook and the Everblades will scramble out the center in the final minute of the first. Puck will hit a skate. Nolan takes it in from the left wing. Gets checked off of it by Allen. Stretch pass picked off, intended for Duke. Everblades are able to tip it in on the near side where Jarvis collects for Atlanta. Able to spin out of pressure. Gladiators will fling it to the neutral zone. Jarvis on the near side, looks up ice. Stretch pass off a stick away from Scardina. An active stick from Allen. 24 seconds left in the first period. Hyder slows it down in the trapezoid on the dump in, and Galloway gets jumped by Duke. No penalty there. Galloway off to the bench. Now on the left side, Lambden scrambles in from the circle. He'll go around the net on his forehand. Lambden turns and shoots. Go off a skate and wide. And that will be the end of the first period. So a little bit of nastiness. A couple of penalties. And a power play goal for the Everblades. They have a 1-0 lead after one, as the lone goal in this game scored by Anthony Romano. 14:46 into the first period by Logan Lambden and Oliver Chow. The Everblades take a 1-0 lead to the locker room, having outshot the Gladiators 13-5. Atlanta has some work to do in the second period and beyond. Have to find a way to get something going offensively. Up next, here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, we will talk about what the Gladiators need to do to get their scoring started here tonight. We'll also take a look at some scores from around the league, as it's another busy night in the ECHL. All that coming up on the other side of the break. Florida 1, Atlanta nothing. We are back after these words from our local partners.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Florida leads 1-0 after one period of play. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. Atlanta seeing a bit of deja vu here tonight. This first period that we've seen here today is very reminiscent of what we saw last night and what ended up being a 5-4 comeback overtime victory for the Gladiators. Tonight the deficit is just one. 1-0 Florida after one period. Gladiators will look to get their offense jump-started here in the second period and beyond. Once again, Florida came out with a memo to just get shots on goal, and that's what they did in the first period, out shooting the Gladiators 13-5. And at points, Ethan Hyder and the Atlanta Gladiators forced to turn away a plethora of shots there in the first period. Hyder able to hold firm, and the goal on the power play wasn't really his fault. It's just some really good passing from Florida, and they find Romano on the doorstep for the score. Romano's goal scored in the final 5 minutes of the first period, assisted by Chow and Lambden to make it a 1-0 Florida lead after one. And for the Gladiators, it's another game in which they give up a power play goal, and this penalty kill has had its bright moments in the season, but as of late, it's been a bit of a tough stretch for it, as they were perfect on Wednesday night, including a shorthanded goal in the 2-0 victory, but they did surrender a power play goal last night. They've done the same again here today, and so really the key for the Gladiators in this game is the first period, plain and simple, wasn't Atlanta Gladiators hockey. It looked more like Florida Everblades hockey, and it felt like at times that the Everblades were really getting under the skin of the Gladiators and really irritating them. They put Kyle Neuber in the lineup, and whether it was done because they are facing a lot of injuries at this stage in the season and just needed someone to play, or whether they did that to add some physicality to their lineup, it has been a physical first period so far here in South Florida. And for the Gladiators, they can play that style of game. They really aren't much of a fighting team this season, but they can go toe-to-toe with anybody in that regard, but it really isn't their style of game. Their style of game is defensive play, structured play, and they kind of frustrate their opponents by smothering them, especially in the offensive zone, and we didn't see any of that in the first period of last night, and certainly not here tonight at Hertz Arena. And so for the Gladiators, they were able to do it last night after a first period last night, which they were outshot, I believe, 19-5. But outshot 13-5 in the first period of this one. Atlanta was able to turn the tide of the game and put together a very nice second period and take the lead in yesterday's game, and I have full belief that they can do that again here today. But first and foremost, they have to get back to their structure, and they have to get back to playing Gladiators hockey, and that's a game that's very much possession-based. I remember coming into this series with the thought that it really felt like whoever was able to win the neutral zone and the face-off circles and the battles along the boards, it felt like that was the team that was going to come away with the victory, and that team was the Gladiators on Wednesday night. It was the Gladiators last night for the majority of the game, and here with 40 minutes left to play in regulation, there still is a chance that it can be the Gladiators all 3 nights in the 3-game slate, but as of right now, it has been Florida that has been winning those battles, and they are up 1-0 at this point. And at this stage in the season series, the Gladiators have become well acquainted with Anthony Romano, number 29 for Florida. Romano now has 4 points in his last 2 games, or I should say game in 1 period. His last 4 periods against the Gladiators, plus the 52 seconds of overtime last night. He's been a lethal weapon for the Everblades this season. Had 2 goals and 1 assist last night for his second third-point game of the season. And he's got another goal here today on the power play in the lone score in the first period. The Gladiators need to be well aware of where he is on the ice at any given moment, because as of right now, the Everblades are quite depleted in terms of their big playmakers. Carson Gasevich out of the lineup. He is on IR. Taryn Pfizer also on IR. Gianfranco Casero not in the lineup here tonight. And Hudson Elenick also out of the lineup as well for Florida. Those are all some guys that have been big-time scorers for them this season. And not to give Florida any excuses for why they lost on Wednesday or Friday, but the truth is the truth, is they are missing some big playmakers in their lineup. And so for the Gladiators, they were able to take advantage of that on Wednesday. Shut out the Everblades 2-0. On Friday night, Romano, 2 goals and 1 assist, really did the heavy lifting. And again, here tonight, he factors in on the goal. And it feels like for the Gladiators, if they are able to isolate and take away that top line for Florida, there really isn't a whole lot for the Everblades to work with. Their second line, Jesse Lansdale, Jet Jones, and Reed Duke, those are depth-scoring guys, but they're really not big-time playmakers. And again, it feels like if the Gladiators can take away Romano, take him out of this game, take him away from being a threat, I feel like they have a great chance to come back and win this game, as Atlanta has been the best defensive team in the ECHL at this stage in the year. The Gladiators, on average, only give up 2 goals per game this season. That is the best figure in the league to this point. And so we'll see if they can continue to clamp down defensively as this game goes on. 1 goal against after 1 period of play is not bad by any measure. The Gladiators look to keep their defensive structure in the second period and beyond and add a little more offense to it. And again, I really feel like that starts by winning faceoffs, winning those battles along the boards, and executing clean zone entries. It felt like it was a lot of dump and chase for the Gladiators, but they weren't winning those chases to the end wall. Florida would just get there, chuck it off the wall, and get it out as soon as possible. And the Gladiators weren't able to set up their structure and execute their game plan. So for Atlanta, something is going to have to change on those zone entries here in the second period as they look to get some offense going here in the second period and beyond. Florida with a 1-0 lead after 1 period of play. When we come back here on the first intermission report, we'll look ahead to the second period a little bit more and also take a look at some scores from around the league. As it's Florida 1 and Atlanta 0. We are back to action after this from our local partners.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Tonight is one of those rare nights where you have the affiliation eclipse. All 3 members of the Gladiators pipeline, Nashville, Milwaukee, and Atlanta, are all playing on the same night. We'll take a look at those scores as we look at our out-of-town scoreboard as the Everblades lead the Gladiators after 1 period of play here at Hertz Arena. We'll start from the top with the Nashville Predators. They are all tied up with the New York Islanders at 2 apiece heading into the second period in New York. Predators have 11 shots. Islanders have 10. As Nashville has gotten goals from Matthew Wood and Philip Forsberg. The Islanders, Matthew Schaefer and Matthew Barzal. Over in Des Moines, Iowa, the Milwaukee Admirals are taking on the Iowa Wild. That game is scoreless at the end of the first period there. With ECHL action, we have got a final from earlier in the day. The Orlando Solar Bears have defeated the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Savannah at one point in time was the hottest team in the ECHL. Now they might be the coldest, as it's been a bit of a roller coaster team for the Ghost Pirates. They lose 3-2 at home to the Solar Bears, and now Savannah is sitting at 18-17, 2-1. In other words, more South Division action could shake up the division as the Swamp Rabbits are lurking and looking for that 4th seed in the South. Over at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, the Jacksonville Icemen have a 1-0 lead over the South Carolina Stingrays with about 5 minutes gone by in the second period there. Jacksonville's lone goal was scored by Teo Costantini. And later on in the night, the Utah Grizzlies will host the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for the final game of a 3-game set at Maverick Center. Swamp Rabbits won in overtime last night and on Wednesday night in Utah. And now Greenville is closing in on that 4th seed in the South. At one point in time, it looked like Savannah was going to take full control of the 4th seed in the South Division and maybe make a run towards the top. But since then, the Ghost Pirates have faltered. They have now lost, I believe, 4 games in a row. And now the Solar Bears, with their win today, have tied the Ghost Pirates for 39 points for that 4th seed. And Swamp Rabbits, with a win tonight, can leapfrog both of them and take sole possession of 4th in the division. As right now, it appears like there's a clear-cut top 3 in the South Division, with Florida, Atlanta, and South Carolina all jockeying for that 1st seed. Remember, with a Gladiators win in regulation or overtime here today, they will have possession of 1st place heading into their matchup against the Greensboro Gargoyles on Tuesday. But right behind them is South Carolina with 53 points. South Carolina currently losing to Jacksonville 1-0. But the thing to keep in mind is that the Gladiators have played the least amount of games out of any of those 3 teams that were just mentioned. In fact, the Gladiators and the Swamp Rabbits both have played 37 games to this point in the season. Both will play in their 38th year tonight. This year against Florida is the Gladiators' 38th game of the season. And so in terms of win percentage, the Gladiators are actually the best team in the South Division, but it's these head-to-head matchups with these teams that you're vying for these top positions for. That is really where ground is going to be made up or lost. And so we've got the game here tonight. Gladiators still with a chance to take possession of 1st place, and then we'll actually see these Everblades again on Wednesday night for college night at Gas South Arena. So there's still plenty of games to be played between these two, but I think the most important thing that gets lost in that whole bird's eye view of the season series is the fact that this is the final game that the Gladiators will play in this building this season. The next 3 in the season series between these two teams will all be played at Gas South Arena, which gives the Gladiators a big upper hand as Atlanta is 14-3 on home ice this season. They've been phenomenal at Gas South Arena, and so as the scene shifts to there, the Gladiators will look to pick up one more win here in South Florida before they meet the Everblades on Wednesday night at Gas South Arena. That night is college night. Some discounts and deals for college students, so make sure if you are a college student, check out AtlantaGladiators.com and get in on the fun. And you've got Brick Party on Friday night, presented by Atlanta BrickCon. A lot of fun action going on that night. Make sure you check it all out, AtlantaGladiators.com, or you can call our sales line at 770-497-5100. We've also got some exciting news on our YouTube broadcast, as now you can have a spot in a Gladiators broadcast. Live YouTube shoutouts are available on Dash. Go to winwithdash.com and click on the Gladiators page and send us a video after purchasing, and you can be a part of a Gladiators broadcast. Again, check it out at Dash. Check out the Gladiators page at winwithdash.com. YouTube shoutouts are now live, so check it out. We are about to hit second period action between the Gladiators and the Everblades. It's already been a successful road trip for Atlanta to this point. 4-0-1 on this road trip. Looking to make it bigger and better. This is their longest road trip of the season. Atlanta has hit the ice wearing their white jerseys with blue numbers and Gladiator gold trim. They will skate from right to left. The Everblades wearing their specialty jerseys for Hispanic Heritage Night. It is a blue jersey with white numbers and orange trim. They will escape from left to right in the second period. Second period action coming up on the other side. We'll take one more break, and when we return, we will have the middle frame from Hertz Arena. We are back after this.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Second period about to get underway from Hertz Arena. Everblades with a 1-0 lead off a power play goal that was scored by Anthony Romano back in the first period. Gladiators go 1 for 2 on the penalty kill in the opening frame. Did not get a power play chance of their own. Last night seems like they were calling penalties willy-nilly. Tonight, not so much. Same referee that we had on Wednesday and Friday here tonight, Will Kelly. And so we'll see if the Gladiators will get a chance on the power play in the second period and beyond. First and foremost, they have to get something going offensively 5-on-5. Not a whole lot going for the Gladiators offensively in the first period. Florida outshoots them 13-5. And then looking for a little bit more after some first intermission adjustments from Matt Ginn and the crew. Puck is down for the second period. And off the face-off, puck is ripped into the Florida end of the ice. Allen will chase it. Francis putting on some pressure as Allen shuffles it to the near side, and Florida will spin it through the neutral zone. No icing as Hyder will come out to play it. Conroy puts it up the ice to Lind. Has Carabia over center circle. He'll tattoo it off the corner wall on the near side. Cipollone spears at it, but can't hold possession. Puck comes out to center. Lind cycles back in. Dumps it down behind Johnson. Gets off for a line change. The Gladiators first of the second period. Puck is lifted out of play from the neutral zone into the back of the net behind Hyder. 19-13 on the second period clock. This period still very much new, and going to keep a close eye on possession here in tonight's game as face-offs, neutral zone, and those battles along the boards are going to be very telling as to who is going to win this game. In the first period, Florida was the better team in that aspect. Gladiators looking to turn the tide. They win a neutral zone face-off. Sylvester outlets to Walter. Puck will roll off the stick right into Johnson. He will freeze 101 into period 2. And the Gladiators really didn't test Cam Johnson all that much in the first period. And Johnson, a great goaltender in his own right, one of the league's best to do it ever. 3-time Kelly Cup champion, 2-time playoff MVP in 22 and 23. And tonight he's playing in his 226th ECHL game. He's been there, done that, but the Gladiators really haven't made him work for his money so far here tonight. Hustling through the neutral zone is Romano. Cross-ice feed away from danger. Snagged by Denemy. He'll look up ice. Stretch pass off a skate to Walter on the left wing. And it ends up being a whistle on the Gladiators and an icing with 18:40 on the clock. So sluggish start to the second period. Not the most entertaining thing I've ever seen. And we got a face-off to the right of Ethan Hyder. Now make that the left. So on the near circle, they will drop the puck. Second line out for the Gladiators. O'Brien will take the face-off against Reed Duke. O'Brien wins it, but they blow the play dead. We'll get another face-off here. And we'll add 2 more seconds back to the game clock. O'Brien against Duke again. This time Duke wins it. Sets up a shot from the left point. Hyder the save. Rebound is available. And Hyder is able to scoop it up and freeze. Everblades were ready to pounce. Hyder able to locate the puck, starfish out, and make the save. All in the opening 2 minutes of the second period. Face off on the far circle. O'Brien will take it against Jet Jones. Jones wins the faceoff. Successful a shot from Duke, blocked in front, rebound to Lansdale. He is washed off the puck between the circles as Burns is able to evade a hit from Jones. Nychuk in neutral ice, flings it to the right wing. O'Brien looks to skate into it. Met by Henry in the corner. They'll spar for it. O'Brien fishes it free. McNamee behind the net. Pokes over to the near corner. Everblades knock it up the wall, and puck will be forced out to center as the Gladiators power it back in. O'Brien back to work in the far corner on his forehand. Tries to knock it to Galloway, fresh off the bench. Instead, gets nothing but Jet Jones, and the Everblades will have possession here. From the neutral zone, give and go play. Lansdale over the attacking line, pulls up, feels pressure. Gladiators take it away. Scardina flies down the right wing, cuts to the inside. Scardina turns and shoots. Save made by Johnson. And the Everblades will throw it the length of the ice. Icing on Florida. And we will see a face-off near Cam Johnson with 2:36 gone by in the second period. Face-off will be on the far circle. Third line on the ice for the Gladiators. Lind, Cipollone, and Francis. Each one of those three factored in with at least a point in the Gladiators' comeback win last night. Cipollone with a goal. Francis and Lind both with 2 assists. Cipollone wins the draw. Orzak at the line. Distributes to Lind. Francis now turns and shoots up and over the cage. From the left wing, Conroy drops it behind the net. Cipollone wraparound chance, makes its way in front, but is swept to the outside by Berzola. Gladiators hang on. Lind turns and shoots. That'll hit a stick and go out of play with 3 seconds, under 3 minutes gone by in the second. It's really felt like this game, especially this second period, has had stop-and-go action to start. Bit sluggish, if you will, a lot like Atlanta traffic, especially on a snow day, which it sounds like a lot of you back at home got snow, so make sure everybody is staying safe and warm in what has been a wacky day up in North Georgia. Third line still on the ice for the Gladiators. Far circle face-off. Cooper against Cipollone, and Cipollone's one another. From the left point, Conroy gathers the puck, puts it towards the goal, where it gets deflected wide by Cipollone. Behind the cage, Francis centers over the stick of Cipollone. Everblades are able to jostle out the center. Carabia will hunt it down. They'll nick it to Conroy. Looking up ice, slides it off the near wall. Has Francis in the neutral zone, but he is spun off of it by Cooper. And now the Everblades will take their chances up ice. From the neutral zone, they'll whirl it by Hyder. At the right point, keeping the play alive is Cooper. He'll exchange with Sillinger. From the right point, drops it off to Landry. He'll fumble and shoot. Shot is blocked by the leg of Cipollone. Rebound hauled in by Penny. Drop pass for Sillinger is forced out to the neutral zone by Cipollone. Johnson will come out to play it as we approach 4 minutes gone by in the second. Now it's Betts from the right wing, stopping at the half wall, creeping back towards the line. Feeds it deeper for Lambden. Puck rolls off his stick. Sylvester will hold it in. Wheel it to Denemy, waiting behind Hyder. Outlet pass to the neutral zone, away from the intended target and Walter. No icing as Johnson slows it down in the trapezoid for Allen. Sean Allen off the end wall, has his target in Sambrook. From the left wing, he connects with Landon. From the right side, save made by Hyder. Hit him in the mask. Rebound pushed out to the neutral zone. Taking it is Walter. He's got some speed. Walter cuts to the inside, and the puck rolls off the stick. Sylvester was there as well, but they couldn't get a shot away, and the Everblades forced them back out to center. Nychuk in on the left side now. Tries to burrow his way in deep. He gets cut off by Sambrook and company as the Everblades from the red line rattle it around the boards by Hyder. Denemy's the first man on it. He gets checked by Needham. Puck loose. Burns has it. He'll escape on the right side. Plug it to the left for Denemy. In the neutral zone, O'Brien helps it into Florida ice. McNamee bulldozes his way into the near corner. Puck leaks up high for a slap shot by Jarvis. And Johnson's able to reel it in. 5:20 gone by in the second period. Andrew Jarvis put a lot of mustard into that one, but Johnson would not be fooled. Still a 1-0 Florida lead here in the opening stages of the second period. O'Brien in the second line out now. Face off on the near circle. O'Brien will take the face off against Craig Needham. He had a goal yesterday on the 4-on-4, and it looks like false start will do it again. Puck is dropped. Gladiators win it. Jarvis walks the line. Feeds it to his left for Burns. He'll take a shot. That gets blocked. He'll haul in the rebound. Chasing it to the right side. Quickly to Orzek. He is checked by Chow. Puck is punched out the center of the Everblades. And Sandbrook takes it on the fly. Sandbrook shoots, save Hyder. The rebound turned away on the chance by Romano. Miscommunication from the Gladiators set up that chance for Sandbrook. Each of the two guys thought that the other had the play covered and sent Sandbrook up the ice. Hyder makes a big-time save. Not once, but twice. Galloway gloves it down in the neutral zone. Quickly slingshots it to the right wing for Nolan. Tried to grab it on the fly. Hits his skate and ends up turning it over. Now here it is Duke on a breakaway. Duke to the goal. Slammed down by Carabia, who makes the defensive stand. Clearing attempt held in by Berzola. Toe drag from the goal line. He'll go around the net. Wraparound chance is thwarted by the Gladiators as a slap shot goes in. From the left point, it's Allen, and the Everblades double their lead. They lead 2-0. Leif Hyder was screened in front. The Everblades had the Gladiators working, and ever since that chance from Sandbrook, Atlanta on its heels. Sean Allen scores for Florida his second goal of the season and the 10th in his ECHL career. Has given Florida a 2-0 lead. I believe Jet Jones was in front of the net, taking away Hyder's eyes. 2-0 Everblades with 13:31 to go in the second period. That was the deficit for the Gladiators. Back in the first period of last night's game, they've proven that they can come back from before. We'll see if they can double down and do it again. Gladiators win the ensuing face-off. Allen's goal assisted by Zach Berzola, coming 6:29 into the second period. Francis from the left wing sidesteps a check from Lansdell. Puck will roll to the end wall. Gladiators poke it to the far corner. Lynn digs it free, tries to cut towards the net. Gets bumped by Lansdell again. Puck will go behind the net. Now in the near corner, Francis rides up the wall. From the line, backhands it to Nychuk. From the left circle, he'll dig his way deeper. Nychuk around the net, pops out on the far side. Sets up Francis at the line. Francis to the inside. Pass is poked away from Lind, and the Everblades will force it back out to center. Cross-ice pass is intercepted by Jones. Breakaway shot, he scores. From bad to worse, Florida capitalizes on the turnover. Jet Jones has his 5th goal of the year, and the Everblades have their biggest lead of the season series. Pass was picked off right at center circle. Jones took it in and did not look back. Breakaway score Everblades by 3. Gladiators reeling a bit, need to get something going in their favor. To this point, it has been all Florida. Young down the middle, takes a shot, sticked away by Johnson. From the far corner, Walter overskates it. Florida jabs it up the wall, and here they go again. 2-on-1. Cooper shoots high and wide. The rebound over the stick of Sillinger and out of harm's way. Bottled up in the corner. Everblades able to sneak it to the line. Berzola quickly across for a shot by Landry. His twig breaks. Florida keeps possession thanks to Lucas Sillinger. He'll weave his way. Out of pressure at the line. Set up Berzola from the right circle. Pass to the inside. Goes up in the air and into the glove of Hyder with 11:43 left in the second period. 2 quick goals for Florida from Sean Allen and Jet Jones have made it a 3-0 Florida lead. We are back to Hertz Arena after this from our local partners.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
It has been very uncharacteristic for the Gladiators to give up 3 goals in any game this season. It's something that's only happened 11 times this season. Gladiators statistically have been the best offensive team in the ECHL, but tonight, not their night. Couple of costly turnovers here in the second period have increased the Florida lead to 3-0. And remember, this is the 6th out of 7th game on the longest road trip of the season. The Gladiators have been away from home for over a week now. Not to make any excuses for them, but they have exceeded expectations with the 4-0-1 record to this point. The incredible comeback last night. They're going to need a little bit more gas in the tank. Pull another rabbit out of their hat in this one. Loose puck at the Gladiator line. Burns will take it in. Tries to jostle it ahead. Lambden cuts him off. Springs Nurse into action. Diving. Tries to push it to the inside. The glove down by Conroy. And the Gladiators will look up ice. Conroy looking for an avenue to pass the puck up ice. Instead elects to dump it in. And that will go down as an icing. With 10:53 to go. And afterwards, Henry took a shot at O'Brien, who is down on the ice. Arm is raised from our referee, and let's see what we get. Gladiators have yet to have a power play so far in this game. And they're just motioning for guys to get back out onto the ice because of the icing. So no penalty on that last sequence. And Florida will have an offensive zone face-off. Face-off to the right of Hyder. Gladiators just haven't really had much working in their favor here tonight. Face-off to the right of Hyder. It'll be taken by O'Brien. And now looks like Florida will send out the first line. Chow, Needham, And Romano. Face-off won by Florida. From the left point, send it across. Sam Brooks stutter step, takes a shot. That's blocked by McNamee. Soccered to the wall by Denemy. Outlet pass, quick touch, McNamee to O'Brien. Return to McNamee, but couldn't grab it on the fly. Sam Brooks cuts him off. And the Everblades look to go up ice. Bouncing puck, hauled in by O'Brien. Washed off of it, right in front of the Florida bench. Nolan's able to pop it into the left of Johnson with 10:18 left in the second period. Florida right back in. Off the end wall. Chow pulls it to the near side and shoots. Deflection in front. Save Hyder. Rebound put up top. Walking the line is Landry. He'll brush it to his left. Drop pass to Chow. Takes a shot and Hyder's got it. 9:57 to go in the second period. Hyder makes another save, and it is still a 3-0 Florida lead. Atlanta has some work to do, especially on the offensive front. We'll see if they can get on it here. We come back to Hertz Arena after a moment and a word with our local partners.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
This second period in this game has been all Florida Everblades with goals from Romano on the power play. And Allen and Jones have taken a 3-0 lead, and they're looking for more. Berzola from the right point. Angles it off the end wall. Behind the cages, Lansdale. Top of the left circle. They'll dangle in as Landry floats the shot wide right of Hyder. Berzola takes it in and shoots. Off the end wall, shot goes wide. Now Landry again, cycles down low. Jarvis picks it off. Francis now over the red line. Takes it in stride from the left wing, turns to his forehand. Turning, shooting, shot is blocked. Rebound held in by Jarvis. Off the wall, looking for Francis again. Intercepted by Landry. And slid out to the neutral zone and dumped down by Jones, the game's most recent goal scorer. Contested puck at the Gladiator line. Snatched by Berzola. Conroy to Sylvester, in on the left side. Captain looking for Young. He hits the deck, courtesy of Sambrook. Now Walter feeds it to Nychuk. Back to Walter. Shot is blocked by Sillinger and floated back out to center. Conroy over the red line. Cuts to the inside now. Over the attacking line. Tries to pop it off the wall to himself, but Berzola able to read that play. Shuffles it over to the near wall. Florida with a couple of quick passes. Rainbows it back out to center with 8:13 to go in the second period. Walter from the right wing. Cuts to the goal. Around the net he goes. Stops behind the cage. Young centering feed. Nobody there. The Gladiators are just not on the same page here today. McNamee puts it in to the right of Johnson. O'Brien quickly back to McNamee. Snapshot hits the side of the net. He has his own rebound at the line. Orzek drifting left. Turns to his forehand and shoots. Gobbled up by Johnson. with 7:43 to go in the second period. And it just feels like the communication has been off from the Gladiators here in this game. And the energy in favor of Florida. And you got to think at this point, the Gladiators are gassed. This is their 5th game in 7 days. And really, to this point in the season, they haven't had a stretch quite like this. And so for them to be 4-0-1 on this road trip is actually quite impressive, considering they really haven't been all that acclimated to playing this much hockey in such a short span. 5 games in 1 week. Racing down the right wing is Landon. He'll cut to the goal. Hyder kicks it away and reels in the rebound with 7:31 left in the second. And it's become apparent that Florida has been using its speed to its advantage, and at times it just beat out the Gladiators, who are dressing 13 forwards and 5 defensemen here today, although Carson Denemy has been playing as a defenseman, and really all that honestly has done quite well for the Gladiators in this game, at least from my vantage point. But not an ideal situation with Denemy a natural forward. Face off to the right of Hyder, won by the Gladiators. McNamee from the left wing chucks it across for O'Brien. Pass a tab behind. Orzek keeps the play alive. Centers for Burns, tied up in front. He gets high-sticked, and that draws a penalty. And now with 7:13 to go in the second, the Gladiators will have their first power play of the game. We're off to the Eco-Electric power play. For the first time tonight, Gladiators went 1 for 2 last night, as they try and get something to go in their favor. Remember, last night, it was a power play goal from Ryan Nolan that got the Gladiators on the board, and after that moment, things really turned in their favor. We'll see if that can happen again here tonight. The deficit 3. Gladiators power play operates at 19.2%, 14th best in the ECHL. Florida penalty kill, one of the best in the league, 87.2%, second best in the ECHL. Face-off to the left of Johnson. First power play unit will start. Young, Walter, O'Brien, Sylvester, and Nychuk. Face-off won by Atlanta. Nychuk to Walter from the right circle. He shoots high and wide. Rebound hauled in by Sylvester from the left corner. Puts it behind the net to O'Brien. Working on his forehand, O'Brien able to escape the heat. Walter on the right side returns it to him at the goal line. O'Brien cuts to the net. Stuff attempt shut down by Johnson, and then Sylvester just skies it out of play with 6:51 to go in the second. 1:39 left on the power play. And not a bad start to the power play for the Gladiators. Did a really nice job of moving the puck around and hanging on to it. And that is something that we have not seen a lot from the Gladiators here today. Sustained puck possession in this game. I really can't think of any instance in my memory of the Gladiators having one really good shift in the offensive zone here so far tonight. Nychuk from the left wing takes it out the face-off victory. Sets up Sylvester at the line. He'll feed it to his right. Young back to Sylvester. Nychuk from the left circle, puts it down low, centering feed, works its way in front. Walter tries to stuff it in, and Johnson puts an end to that. And afterwards, a convergence, or a congregation, if you will, to the left of Johnson. Both teams exchanged pleasantries, and looks like this first unit is going to stay on with 1:21 left on the Gladiator power play. Allen in the box, high sticking on Mickey Burns. And so it'll be a face-off to the left of Johnson. Alex Young will take this face-off up against Jet Jones. Florida wins the draw. Behind the net, Berzola able to escape the pressure from Walter. He'll get it to the line, but it's held in by Nychuk. Bouncing puck, Nychuk's got it. He'll feed it to his right for Young. From the right circle, returns it to Nychuk. He'll unload, save Johnson, rebound at the goal line. Kept out by Johnson. And the Everblades will float it down to Hyder. 55 seconds left on the penalty to Allen. And the second power play unit is on the ice. McNamee motors in on the left side. Feeds it to the middle for Lynn. The puck will hit his skate, go to the end wall. Lynn tries to shovel it to McNamee and does. From the right wing, puts it up top. Orzek to Nolan. From the left wing, returns it to the middle. Orzek brushes it into open space. Francis skates into it and centers for Nolan. Touch pass at the line. Orzek to Francis at the right point. Has it scrubbed off his stick. And here's a chance. Shorthanded for Nurse. Breakaway shot wide of the mark. Gladiators catch a huge break. 10 seconds left on their power play. Nurse getting mobbed by 4 Gladiators in the near corner as they wash the puck away, but that is going to do it for the Atlanta power play. No good on the Eco-Electric power play are the Gladiators. Hyder from the trapezoid whips it to the near wall for McNamee. Takes a crunch off the wall. Conroy flies to the neutral zone. Bottled up at the blue line. Tries to pound it in. Gets cut off by Sambrook. Looking up ice. His pass to the blue line is picked off. Carabia will go behind Hyder. And he turns it over. Centering feed. Broken up and picked off by Galloway. Great read off the turnover. Denemy puts it on goal. Stick save made by Johnson. Puck hops out to the neutral zone where it's hauled in by Carabia. Denemy now is a forward with Galloway and Scardina as the Gladiators look to get something going. Scardina tried to power towards the net. Everblades were able to sniff that out. Out to the neutral zone comes Cooper. Off the near wall, he'll chase it down. 4:07 left in the second period. Berzola from his end of the ice. Angles it off the end wall to Allen. Floated through the neutral zone where it's picked off by Jarvis. Gliding down the left wing, kept to the outside. Jarvis checked in the near corner, gets some help from Walter. Walter looks to center. Pass is broken up by Allen. And the Everblades will feed the puck back out to the neutral zone. From there, Penny slowly creeps on in from the left circle. Moves to his forehand and turns it down to the trapezoid. Cooper on the backhand, centers in front, broken up by Nychuk, and he'll skate it out of danger. Nychuk has Walter moving down the left wing. Gladiators are offside on the zone entry with 3:15 to go in the second period. Well, Atlanta had a chance on the power play, but nothing happening there. Still a 3-0 Florida lead with 3:15 to go. We are back to more second period action when we come back after this from our local partners.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Second period moving closer to its conclusion. 3:15 to go in the middle frame. And a game that is led by the Everblades 3-0. Gladiators were outshot pretty heavily in the first period. 13-5. In the second, Florida has outshot Atlanta 10-8. And the Gladiators just really haven't been able to get anything going offensively. And thought that the power play chance might help, but not a whole lot happening there either. Orzek from behind Hyder quickly runs out of time, has Lind upwards, and away they go. Francis from the left wing has it scrubbed off his stick by Jones. They'll bang it back down to Atlanta ice, and Orzek turns it over to Jones. Pass to the left circle, intercepted by Lind. Good read there from the rookie. He'll brush it to his right into open space. Cipollone catches up to it. Will trickle back to Orzek. He'll exchange with Conroy, and now Orzek playing in game number 200 in his pro career. Looks to jumpstart things on the attack. Francis from the right circle, cuts to the goal, stopped by Johnson, and the rebound spat out to center. Everblades come up ice with speed. Betts, slap shot, stopped by Hyder. 2:20 to go in the second period. Gladiators will get a personnel change. Second line on the ice. Third line comes off. Felt like Francis had a good chance there, but Johnson takes away the angle, and Francis kind of steamrolled him a little bit, powering towards the net. But again, the Gladiators kept out. And it's another face-off to the right of Ethan Hyder. Florida wins that face-off, but splits the D cleanly, and so it's a free clear for Atlanta. 2:10 to go in the second. Rizzola from the right wing slaps it down. Hyder gets a stick on it. Puck leaks to the left circle for a shot. That goes wide. At the right point, Rizzola keeps it in. Puts it back down that wall to the corner. Wanted Nurse. Jarvis had him covered. Puck goes into that area with those two jockey along the wall. Gladiators dig it free, and Lambden gets high-sticked, and Florida's going back to the power play. And it's just been that kind of night for the Atlanta Gladiators. Haven't been very many of them this season, but this feels like nothing's working in their favor. Going to be a 2-minute minor for high sticking, and the Gladiators are back to the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill. O'Brien takes a seat. 1:44 to go. Everblades are off to their third power play of the night. Face-off to the right of Ethan Hyder. Joey Cipollone will take this face-off with Nychuk to his right and Denemy and Conroy in the slot for Florida. They will trot out Chow, Needham, Romano, Sambrook, and Lambden. And keep in mind, it was Romano that scored the opening goal of this game on the power play for the Everblades, and they really have not looked back since that moment. Face-off won by Florida. Sambrook from the line. Feeds it to his left. Romano's got it. Cross ice. Lambden from the right circle. Shoots. Stop Hyder. Puck is loose. They're chopping at it. Hyder doesn't know where it is. Puck was still loose, but they blew the whistle. Referee lost sight of it. And meanwhile, players in front of Hyder getting chippy. And Hyder got a swipe into his own there. Linesman pushes him away. As the Gladiators didn't take too kindly to the Everblades crashing the crease there. I'm sure Florida's argument is that puck was still active. Hyder didn't have it, but the referee, Will Kelly, likely explaining that he lost sight of it, which is why he blew the whistle. 1:29 to go in the second. 15 seconds gone by, and the penalty to O'Brien on his high-sticking minor. Face off to the right of Hyder, and we'll do it all again. Gladiators take it in off the face-off. Denemy reverses to Nychuk behind the cage, and he ends up losing it. Chow to the line. Lambden sauces it to the high slot for Sambrook. Set up from the left circle. Romano fires, and Hyder eats that one up with 1:13 to go in the second period. Looks like Nychuk had broke a stick there, so he's going to go off to the bench. You got to think at this point in the road trip, you got to be running short on sticks, right? I mean, it's been a while since the Gladiators been back at Gas South Arena to restock. Equipment manager Ben Ellis really working for his money here on this trip. Face off to the right of Hyder. Nychuk with a new stick. And off that face off, Hyder will watch as Nychuk slaps it to the near corner behind the net. Conroy scurries through the neutral zone and mails it down for a clear. 1 minute left in the second period. Sambrook will lead the next charge on the power play for Florida. Romano right down the middle, feeds it to his right. Lambden from the half wall, shrugs it to the line for Sambrook. Quick touch pass to the left circle. Romano delays to Sambrook. Up high, he shoots, and they score. It's another power play goal for Florida, and that will make it a 4-0 hockey game. Looks like this one's going to go to Craig Needham. Everblades by 4. Florida now 2 for 3 on the power play tonight. Takes a 4-0 lead right before the end of the second period. 30 seconds to go in the middle frame. Galloway to Jarvis on the left wing. Wires the puck in deep to Scardina. Pinned up against the wall. Work it to the line. Orzek sidestep. Cut to the inside for the right circle. Scardina shoots. That is the side of the net. Clearing attempt held in by Jarvis from the left wing. They plunge deeper. Scardina behind the cage. Checked off it by Cooper. 5 seconds left in the period. The Everblades float it to neutral ice. And after 2, it is Florida by 4. The power play goal from Craig Needham has made it a 4-0 hockey game in favor of the Everblades. We are off to the second intermission report. We'll look ahead to the third period and see if the Gladiators can make it an even crazier comeback compared to last night. We will also recap the first 2 periods and take a look at some scores from around the league. All of that coming up on the other side of the break. Florida 4, Atlanta 0. Everblades in control heading into the third. We are back after this from our local partners.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Second intermission here from Hertz Arena in Estero, Florida, and the home squad has had its best performance of the season series. This the fourth meeting, and the Everblades lead by 4. Florida 4, Atlanta nothing. That is your score after 2 periods of play. Guy Chiarenza with here in the Gladiators Broadcast Network, and this game has been a one to forget for the Gladiators here so far tonight. Nothing really going offensively for them in this game. And it seems like every bit of luck has gone on the Everblades side, and Florida's just been the better team so far here tonight. And the Gladiators, playing their 5th game in 7 days, very much look like a team that is playing its 5th game in 7 days. They just look gassed. The energy is just not being there for the Gladiators. And, you know, again, you also have to give credit to the Everblades. I mean, they came out with an agenda. They weren't happy with the way that Wednesday night and Friday night went for them, and they came out and they were ready to play. And so, right from the puck drop, Florida getting shots on goal, cycling around, getting good things to happen in their favor, and it all kind of culminates with the Everblades getting into their groove, playing their style of game. And it felt like early on they had the Gladiators agitated. Atlanta looked tired from the puck drop, and Florida did a good job of frustrating the Gladiators like they did on Friday night. Back in the first period of that game, the Everblades threw some checks around, got the Gladiators off their game, mentally took control of the game, physically took control of the game, and the Everblades had a 2-0 lead last night. And tonight in the first period, they score on a power play goal from Anthony Romano. That goal coming with 3:14 left. I think that 5:14 left in the first period, as Romano scores from Chow and Lambden to make it a 1-0 Florida lead after 1. And in the second period, the Everblades just continue to put together a strong string of play, and it ends up culminating in a 4-0 lead after 2. The Everblades score a couple of sloppy turnovers from the Gladiators, and they really have full control of this game at this point. Second goal was scored by Sean Allen, shot from the left point as the Gladiators turned the puck over and couldn't get the puck out of their own zone. Shot by Allen from the left point, ends up going to the back of the net as Hyder was screened in front. Berzola gets the assist on that one, and then the third goal is pretty inexcusable for the Gladiators. I mean, that was a tough one, and for Matt Ginn and Zach Nell, this coaching staff, they can't be too happy about this one, because plain and simple, that was not Gladiators hockey there. Cross-ice pass in the neutral zone is picked off at center circle, and Jet Jones, who read the play like a book, takes it to the goal and scores. Florida leads 3-0, and at that point, Florida had 2 goals, looks like in 56 seconds, almost a minute. The Everblades really turned the tide of the game there, which at that point you could argue was already in their favor, but afterwards, after the third goal, really was no looking back at that point. Florida had control, and then late in the second period, things get worse for the Gladiators. They go to the penalty kill, and Florida scores again. Craig Needham, assisted by Sambrook and Romano. It's another long-range shot that ends up getting tipped in front by Needham as Sambrook took the initial shot. And again, Hyder screened in front, and the Everblades score. And that makes it a 4-0 hockey game, and that's where we sit after 2 periods of play. And not to make excuses for the Gladiators here tonight, but they have exceeded expectations on this road trip. 4-0-1 at this point. Shutout win on Wednesday night, comeback win last night. This team has found a way to win big-time games on the road. And here tonight, playing in their 5th game in 7 days, they're depleted. Yoder out of the lineup, Les still out of the lineup, Appel out of the lineup. You know, this team is wearing thin on really the energy that it's got, the guys that they've got, the bodies in the lineup. At this point, and at some point in the road trip, it all kind of takes its toll. And this being the longest road trip for the Gladiators this season, they're feeling it a little bit. And the other thing to keep in mind is that for Atlanta, they have played the least amount of games out of any team in the division, along with Greenville, 37 coming into the night. And there really hasn't been a stretch so far in the Gladiators season where they've played this much hockey in such a short time span. Now, they're going to have to get used to it because there's plenty of more where this comes from. The Gladiators' schedule this season is very much backloaded to the second half. We had a lot of off days in the first half of the season. In the second half of the year, in February, March, and April, things really pick up for the Gladiators. I mean, consider this. This is game number 38 for the Gladiators. So you play from October, November, December, and January. 4 months, you fit in 38 games. And in the next 2.5 months, the Gladiators are going to fit in another half of the season schedule. It's going to get crazy for Atlanta with how many games they are going to be playing in such a short span. They're going to have some 4 and 5s in there. Like it's going to get gnarly for them. And so the good news right now is that they have proven that they can win under these circumstances. But right now it does seem like this Gladiators team is a bit gassed. We're at the end of the road trip, and this really hasn't been their best performance at all so far here tonight. And so you just take your positives where you can in this one. While there may not be a lot of them, you take them and you move on to Greensboro on Tuesday night after hopefully putting together a solid third period. Because, I mean, all things considered, are the Gladiators going to come back during the third period? They could. They very well could. We've seen crazier things happen. Trust me. But the odds are low. And so for the Atlanta Gladiators during the third period, the first step to making a comeback here tonight and the first step to putting together a better effort in Greensboro on Tuesday is to just get something going, something positive here in the third. Give yourself one good takeaway, one stepping stone to start, and then you build from there. And I think for the Gladiators, in the second period, the one positive for them was that they did take more shots. They were outshot 13-5 in the first period, only 14-13 in the second period. You found a way to get more shots on goal in the second period. Now, see if you can find a way to limit Florida's shots and get some more sustained offensive zone time of your own. Because right now in this game, I can probably count on one hand how many times the Gladiators have had a shift in the offensive zone lasting more than 30 seconds. It hasn't been a whole lot. And I thought towards the end of the second period that the power play chance for the Gladiators might give them a little bit of life like it did last night. It really didn't. And so for the Gladiators, get something positive going here in the third. And so you can take that and run with it. Maybe make this one a game, but all things considered, used as a positive moving forward in your season, as this night so far has just not been their night. Look ahead to the third period a little bit more on the other side of the break, and we will also take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, as it is the rare affiliation eclipse. We have Nashville, Milwaukee, and Atlanta all playing on the same day. We'll take a look from around the affiliation and a look around the ECHL coming up next after the break here on the second intermission report. Florida 4, Atlanta nothing. We are back in a moment after a word from our local partners.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Everblades lead the Gladiators 4-0 after 2 periods of play. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network for the second intermission report. If you take a look at some scores from around the league and around our affiliation, as it is one of those rare nights where the Predators, the Admirals, and the Gladiators are all playing on the same day. Let's take a look and see what's going on. First, we'll start in the ECHL. Upset for Orlando in Savannah. Solar Bears take down the Ghost Pirates 3-2 final earlier today at Five-Star Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville. The South Carolina Stingrays have a 2-1 lead over the Icemen with 15:44 left in the third period. Jacksonville had a 1-0 lead with a goal from Costantini, but goals from Caden Bolson and Stan Cooley from South Carolina have given them the lead after 2 periods. Over at Santander Arena in Reading, Pennsylvania, the Reading Royals have a 2-1 lead over the Greensboro Gargoyles, who we will see on Tuesday at the top of the third period there. And coming up later in the night, it is the Utah Grizzlies hosting the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. That game is set to start about 10 minutes from now. Greenville, with a win, can take possession of 4th place in the South Division. And so those are your ECHL scores. Now on the AHL side of things, the Milwaukee Admirals are at Casey Center in Des Moines, Iowa to take on the Iowa Wild, and the Admirals have a 1-0 lead after 1 period there. And on the NHL side of things, the Nashville Predators are on Long Island to take on the New York Islanders. Predators and Islanders tied at 3, 1:10 into the third period in New York. So that is the scores from around the ECHL and the scores from around the affiliation. We wish the Admirals and the Predators the best of luck here tonight. And for the Gladiators, luck has not been on their side so far here in this game. And at this point, trying to get something positive here to go their way in the third period and take that as they move into the final game of their 7-game road trip against the Greensboro Gargoyles on Tuesday. And you never want to look ahead, right? And then at this stage in the broadcast, I would like to just look ahead to Greensboro and pull a Bill Belichick and say, we're on to Greensboro. But it really feels like one of those moments where instead, let's stay in the present a little bit, because the Gladiators have won the previous 2 against these Everblades. They've got games in hand. They are 1 win away from winning the season series. It's a 7-game series, and these 2 teams will see each other again on Wednesday night. So we are far from done with the Florida Everblades here, as these 2 teams will add one more chapter to their historic rivalry on Wednesday night at Gas South Arena. And it's been a long time since I can say this, but that game will be at Gas South Arena, and that feels good to say, because the Gladiators have been on the road for about a week and a half now. So it's been a long time coming, and you can get your tickets at AtlantaGladiators.com. Call one of our reps. We'll hook you up with a ticket package. Call 770-497-5100. Wednesday night is college night in the rematch between these 2 teams. Atlanta Gladiators, Florida Everblades, Wednesday night at Gas South Arena. 7:10 puck drop. Calling a 6:50 pregame show on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. And then on Friday night, we have the Brick Party night, which is presented by Atlanta BrickCon, and I'm actually pretty excited for that one. I do have a Gladiators brick puck that is a part of a special ticket package. Now, these brick pucks will also be available at the Gladiators team store on the concourse, but they're pretty cool. You build them yourselves, and if I can do it, you can do it. It comes with instructions, thank goodness, but awesome little memento, a lot of fun. It's for people of all ages, so I'm going to drop a ticket package link to the Brick Party game against Jacksonville on Friday, February 6th in our YouTube live chat, and you can get in on the fun clicking that link and get your tickets for the Brick Party night on Friday night, February 6th. And the Atlanta Gladiators host the Jacksonville Icemen. And again, this link that I'm putting in the live chat does include that brick party puck. So just put that link in our YouTube live chat. Go click that if you haven't got your tickets already. You can get that brick puck as well. And again, we got a lot of fun stuff coming up on the docket once the Gladiators finally make their way back to Gas South Arena. But before we can do that, got to find a way to get out of this third period here in South Florida. Everblades with a 4-0 lead. Gladiators will look to try and make something of it here in the third period, and who knows, might be talking about a wacky finish again on the Gladiators postgame show. We'll find out as we are just about set for third period action here in South Florida. So here is the lowdown. Everblades lead 4-0. It has been their kind of night so far. Not really much going in the Gladiators' favor, but they do have a chance to get some positives going before they head off to Greensboro for Tuesday night's matchup. And remember, these two teams will play again on Wednesday, so have a couple of days in between. For the Gladiators, a matchup in between before they get right back to it on Wednesday night. Gladiators looking to make a statement before that game with a big third period here. Atlanta wearing its white jerseys with blue numbers and Gladiator gold trim will skate from left to right. Everblades wearing specialty jerseys, blue with white numbers and orange trim, skate from right to left. As Atlanta wins the opening faceoff of period 3. Conroy from the neutral zone pops it into the near corner, and that ends up being an icing 12 seconds in. So, we'll see another faceoff near Ethan Hyder. This is the first in this third period. And for Hyder, it really feels like in this game, the 4-0 deficit is not by his doing. It really felt like on 2 of those goals he was screened, and then on another one, it was tic-tac-toe for the Everblades, and they scored. And then the third goal from Jet Jones was a one-on-one breakaway. And how much can you really ask for from a goaltender there? Tough break for Hyder here tonight in the Atlanta Gladiators. Everblades whirl it around the boards in their own zone. Cipolone forechecking, looks to keep the play alive, but Everblades do force out the center. Lynn will poke it into Florida ice. Cipolone in hot pursuit. Is it ripped away by Allen. Landon on the left wing, takes flight, pulls up at the half wall on his forehand, serves it a bit deeper to Romano. As the puck taken away by Walter. He'll scuttle through the neutral zone, sidestep through the left wing. He's got some room. Walter snaps a shot and a stick. Stick breaks Walter back to the bench. As Florida ices the puck, 1:03 into the third. And we will see a face-off to the left of Cam Johnson, who to this point has stopped 18 of 18. Hyder, 23 of 27. Gladiators send the first line out. Walter, Young, and Sylvester. I'm curious to see. I mean, the Gladiators are already trusting 13 natural forwards and 5 natural defensemen, but I'm interested to see if Matt Ginn wants to shuffle up the lineup here. Not much offense flowing. I mean, at this point, might as well get creative if you can. Everblades dump the puck down. Hyder to the trapezoid to play it. Shuffles it to his left. Outlet pass from Nychuk, held in the zone by Needham. From the right wing, on his forehand. Needham probing around at it, but Nychuk able to dig it out to the neutral zone. From there, Young from the red line blasted off the end wall, and the Gladiators will get a line change in. Landry waiting behind Johnson, scans the ice, feeds it to his right. On the move is Berzola. He'll angle it off the wall to Duke. We'll go around the boards to the near side. Between the circles, Jones cuts to the goal. Caribia picks his pocket. and lobs it to the neutral zone where it skips onto the tape of Sambrook. Outlet pass on the money for Duke. Right wing pass to the inside. Goes behind the intended targets. It'll be picked up on the near side by Jones. He'll sauce it deep. Puck spurts in front of Hyder. Swipes it over to the near half wall. Battle between Lansdale and Jarvis there. As the Gladiators are able to skate it free. McNamee over the red line. The puck leaps into the first row. 2:29 going by in the third period. And Florida and Atlanta will both make line changes here. Neutral zone face-off right at center circle. It is going to be Cooper against Scardina. First-year pro out of Bowling Green State. Cooper wins it. Allen will control. Everblades hammering it on the right side. No icing as Orzek will field it. They'll chop the puck to the neutral zone. Allen reels it back in. Sillinger directs it down. Hyder from the trapezoid will play it. On his forehand, heaves it to his left. Florida gets in front of it. Puck is chucked to the line. Drifting left is Berzola. Tries to spin it to his right. Hits the stick and comes to Sillinger. Takes a shot. Blocked by Orzek. And he's feeling that one a little bit. And Orzek is going to limp towards the bench. And hopefully he's all right. Gladiators are already down a defenseman in this one. As Sillinger weaves his way in. Puck is taken away by Scardina over the red line. And now Lambden swindles it away from him. Drop pass to Sillinger. Fans on the shot from the left circle. Gladiators chuck it back out to center. And Zorzek is receiving some attention on the bench from athletic trainer Nick Nelson. Puck is directed into the right of Cam Johnson. Everblades from the deep end. Slingshot into action. Betts, the left wing, on time for Nurse. A backhand behind the nets, back to Betts. And puck is stripped away by Cipollo. As Francis through the neutral zone. Ryan Francis over the attacking line. Stuffed by Landry. Francis fighting to get back into the play. Takes the puck back in on his forehand. Try to put something on goal, but Everblades blast it to the line. Gladiators drive it back in. Again, Francis working hard along the wall. Pinned up by Landry. Sylvester and Cipolone also digging there. And Sylvester sparring at it with Betts. And this play still pinned up against the boards. Sylvester and Betts still jawing at each other. Sylvester gets a shove from Henry, and now Jarvis gets a shot in as well. Meanwhile, Conroy deep in his own end is being hounded by Nurse. Somehow able to escape. Conroy to the red line, chucks it into Florida ice, and the Gladiators get a change in. Sylvester still on the ice forechecking as the rest of his line mates come on. Fans thought there should have been a penalty there, but there is none. Puck is sent down to the Florida end wall. Young throws a check there as the Everblades are able to evade any danger. Lob it out to the neutral zone with 14:44 left in the third. Puck rattles around to the near corner. Florida again gets it to the line. Shot by Young, blocked away by Johnson. Johnson does not yet have a shutout this season. The backup tonight, Cranley has two, and now here's a sparring match in front of the Gladiators bench. Young got mobbed. And everybody is over there. Right in the middle, Kyle Neuber for Florida. Neuber sixth amongst active players in penalty minutes entering the night. Had 130 last year. And we'll see if there's any penalties coming out of this. Looks like going to the box for Florida is Craig Needham. And looks like Chad Nychuk. Well, he's headed that way. It'll be Alex Young who goes to the box, and I believe we are going to 4-on-4. That is the case. 14:22 left in the third period, and it is worth noting that last night the Everblades did score on 4-on-4 action, but the guy that did it is the one in the box. Craig Needham scored on the 4-on-4 in the first goal of yesterday's game. His services are unavailable, so we have some open ice to work with here in the third, and a chance for the Gladiators to possibly get on the board. Faceoff will be to the right of Ethan Hyder. O'Brien will take the faceoff against Jones. 4 men out. Nychuk, Burns, O'Brien, and Conroy. As puck pinballs off the draw, goes to the line. Landry drifting right, takes a shot, deflected in front, save. Hyder, rebound, turned and shot, and blocked by Conroy. Jones with the chance, Conroy with the stop. Upwards goes Nychuk. Drops off for Conroy at the right point. He'll shoot, save made, rebound is pinballed in. Mickey Burns in the right place at the right time, and Atlanta breaks the shutout. It is 4-1. Mickey Burns just waiting at the top of the blue paint. There's a kick save by Johnson that went off the leg of Burns and in. And on the 4-on-4, the Gladiators get on the board. And it doesn't look like we're going to get a replay there, although that is because the play is currently under review. So they're going to see if Burns kicked it in. And if he did, then that would wipe the goal off the board. Call on the ice was a goal, so they're going to have to find conclusive video evidence to overturn that. Has to be a distinct kicking motion to overturn the call on the ice of a goal. It feels like for the Gladiators at this stage in the game, just let them have it. But the rules are the rules, and we'll see if this goal ends up standing. And there's a kick save by Johnson, hit the leg of Burns on its way in, and the question is whether or not it was a distinct kicking motion into the back of the net. And there's a murmur in the building because Cam Johnson, working on a shutout here, is praying that Burns did kick it in. For the Gladiators, they're hoping that it was just angled off his skate or leg and in. And we'll see. So they're taking a look at the iPad right now. The referee, Will Kelly, and one of the linesmen, Jason Lordy. And we'll see what they come up with. Meanwhile, good sight to see Nolan Orzek on the ice skating around during the break. So it looks like he is going to jump back into the action at some point after blocking a shot earlier on in the period. And it looks like we have a verdict. It is a goal. Mickey Burns gets his 5th goal of the season on the 4-on-4, and the Gladiators have broke the shutout bid for Cam Johnson. It's Conroy that took the initial shot. He'll get credited with an assist on that one. Burns is 5th of the year. And that's something that has finally gone right for the Atlanta Gladiators here tonight. Still 4 aside for the next 122. Francis with the puck, looking to break out for Atlanta. He'll trade it off to Conroy, who waits behind the net. He'll look up ice. Stutter step, shoulder fake, hangs onto it over the red line. Wires it to the end wall, and he'll chase it himself. First man on it is Allen. Almost turns the puck over to Francis on the near side, but Lansdale does reel it in. And Florida with it with 55 seconds left on the 4-on-4. And Francis, Nychuk off to the bench. Sylvester, Jarvis come on. And now the Gladiators get Walter on for Cipollone as Orzek came on for Conroy. From the left wing, Romano looks to put it in front, picked off by Orzek, and he'll look up ice, connect with Isaac Walter at the red line, pulls up, and sprints to his left. Peels away again. Now distributes to his right for Orzek. 12:44 left in the third period. Walter plunges in on the left side, pulls up at the point, sets up Orzek on the fly. Orzek fans on the shots. From the right wing, feeds it inside to Walter. Working his way to the high slot. Pitch it to his left. Taking the return feed. Walter will shoot. Shot just goes wide. And momentum will carry the puck out to center. Both teams are back to 5 aside. Young and Needham out of the box. Young will reel it in the neutral zone. On the right side, chips it to Burns. He'll chase after it in the corner and swipe it to the far side. Or pinned up along the boards is McNamee. Along the boards, puck is stripped away. Florida out to center. And on the run is Lambden. 2-on-1. Lambden inside for Nurse. And they score. Thought Hyder might have made the initial save, but ends up pinballing into the back of the net. And Isaac Nurse has his second goal this season to make it a 5-1 Florida lead. Hyder got some of it, but not all. And the Everblades have had that next gear to their speed so far here tonight. They used it again. Create a 2-on-1. And Nurse takes the pass from across and puts it into the back of the net for his second of the year and the Everblades' 5th of the night. 11:48 left in the third, and Florida has scored, but now they're going to take this to review. And I have to imagine might be another kicking motion debate here. So back we go, back to the iPad. A couple of iPad kids down there. Taking a look at that iPad again, and we will see what the call will be. On the ice, it was a good goal, so again, they need distinctive and conclusive video evidence to overturn the call on the ice. And they'll take a look at it. Again, it is our referee, Will Kelly, with the linesman, Jason Lordy. I hate to say it, but I mean, whether it's a goal or not really sure if that changes all that much for the Gladiators in this game. 4-1, 5-1. It's kind of potato at this point. Second time a goal has gone under video review in this game, and it's actually back-to-back goals. The one from Mickey Burns also into review, and that one stood. We'll see what the call is on this one. It is a goal. Florida by 4 once again. Scardino will take the ensuing face-off against Cooper. He will win it. And Florida leads by 4 goals again. Denemy up ice, 2-on-1, cross-ice feed, blocked by Henry. Nolan was the other man there. Tries to pull it in at the end wall. Nolan doing good work, taking a couple of crunches. Kicks it out of the pile, but Florida able to be strong on the puck. Gladiators do wrestle it free now. Shot by Carabia, hits a man and goes wide. Rebound goes to Cooper from the far corner. Reverses to Henry, looking up ice, stretch pass on time for Sillinger. Left side shot wide of Hyder. Rebound goes to Denemy. He'll angle it off the wall. Nychuk pulls it in. Gladiators get boxed up in the neutral zone. 10:50 to go in the third period. Hyder behind the cage, scoots it to his left. Orzek into action. Has Conroy in the right wing. They'll glide it along the wall behind Johnson. There to meet it is Lind. Checked up by Berzola. Trying to keep a hand on the puck and get it to the line. Orzek from the left point. Sidesteps Lambden. Now Conroy from the right wing. Can't pull in the pass. Spets was there. It'll drift free to Lind. Shot hits a leg. Rebound by Conroy. Is swallowed up by Johnson with 10:19 to play. And afterwards, more fireworks. Guys coming together. Lads fans will get a taste of this on Wednesday night when these two teams get back together at Gas South Arena. Florida 5, Atlanta 1. We are off to break and are back after this from our local partners.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery, tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
So interesting development in this game as we went to break. Sean Allen has been sent to the Florida locker room, and he was not very happy on his way there, talking to one of the linesmen, slapped a stick on the ice and went down the tunnel. He has been assessed 2 minutes, as has Kalen Lind. And Lind, I do not see him in the... he is in the visitor's box, so he is in there. And we'll wait to see what the official sentence is on both sides. But it looks like we're going to go to 4-on-4 action again. And remember the last time that was the case, the Gladiators scored after the puck pinball off the leg of Mickey Burns and went into the back of the net. So Sillinger will serve the penalty to Allen, who has since left the game. And that's interesting because the Everblades only dressed 5 defensemen here tonight, so they're down 4 for seemingly the rest of this contest, although they are in control with a 5-1 lead. Off the face-off, the Gladiators win it. From the left side, Nychuk tries to dig in deep, and the Everblades will hustle to the line, but not out, and now they do. Thought that Nychuk might have been able to keep that, but Florida had some pressure there. Back on the attack, Walter from the right wing puts it in front, pass behind Young, and he couldn't get a shot away. Hit his skate, and Florida scrambles out to the neutral zone. 9:48 left in the third. Walter can't pull the pass into the neutral zone. In a roll to Henry. Outlets to Needham. Looking up ice. Has a man on the left wing. That's Chow. Into Gladiator ice. He'll chase it to the corner. Beat out there by Conroy. Great hustle. Atlanta able to turn up ice with it. Orzek moving with Walter. They'll feed it to the right for Young. They'll feather it over the attacking line and head off to complete a change. 1 minute left on the 4-on-4. Lind and Allen both were assessed 2-minute minors for roughing, and then Allen got a 10-minute misconduct with pretty much the rest of the game at that point for continuing an altercation. So he has since left. Sillinger is serving his sentence. As motoring on in is Romano from the left wing. Puck is poked away by Orzek. Cleans up shop, finds O'Brien. He'll wait behind Hyder for a moment. And now work his way down the middle, moving with Mickey Burns. Over the attacking line, O'Brien tries to find his way into the far corner. Florida having none of it. Shakes the puck down and able to roll it through center. Time on the side of the Everblades, and the score as well. Florida leads at 5-1 with 8:22 left in the third. Carabia has Francis over center circle. Francis to the left wing, connects with Nychuk. Backhand pass, Francis from the left circle, works his way up top. Cross ice feed, makes its way to Nychuk. Return to Francis, back to Nychuk again. Now Francis from the right circle, plays it across for a slap shot. That goes wide. Carabia was looking, but shot was off target, as now the puck will leap out of play on the near side. With 7:53 to go. Florida in control. They lead at 5-1. We are back to Hertz Arena after this from our local partners.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Florida 5, Atlanta 1. A little over 7 minutes left in the third period here. Gladiators looking ahead to the rematch on Wednesday night at Gas South Arena and the game in Greensboro on Tuesday night, which will finally be the end of this season-long 7-game road trip. Nychuk off the face-off, cuts to the goal. Puck wobbles off his stick as the Everblades come up ice. Gladiators are able to swipe it away from them as they sauce it back into Florida territory. Puck loose in front of the Gladiators bench. Will be shoveled to Nolan. Carabia will wait behind Ethan Hyder as Gladiators look to find an avenue to break out. Here is Scardina over the red line, lifting it into Florida ice. From the end wall. Can't have clean possession, and now puck trickles to the line where it's held in by Jarvis. Nifty move along the wall, sets up Scardina at the goal line. Shot from there, hits a body, and goes out of play into about the 6th or 7th row on the near side with 7:04 left in the third. Face off to the right of Cam Johnson. Lone Gladiators goal was scored on a 4-on-4. Mickey Burns from Ryan Conroy and Chad Nychuk before Isaac Nurse scored to make it a 5-1 game, which is where we sit right now. Gladiators off an offensive zone face-off. Get possession at the line. Sylvester quickly trades it to Conroy, and the puck comes out. Offside on Atlanta with 6:53 to go. And it's just been that kind of day for the Gladiators. The one thing that went their way was the bounce off the leg of Mickey Burns that went to the back of the net on the 4-on-4 to break the shutout bid from Cam Johnson. Otherwise, not much. Neutral zone face-off won by Florida. The Gladiators, winners on Wednesday and Friday night, had a chance to sweep this 3-game slate. Puck rolls in on Hyder. He'll cover up. And afterwards, Jarvis wrapped up with Henry. Nothing new there. But for Florida, it looks like they're going to escape with a victory here today. And it will remain that the Everblades have not been swept in a 3-game set in this building since December of 2021 when the Trois-Rivières Lions came in and won all 3 games in this building. It's a tough place to win. The atmosphere, the building, the way the Everblades play, it is tough to win 3 games here in Florida just because of the travel. A lot of times teams are stuck here for a while. Henry to the box. Looks like the Gladiators are going to the power play. Think about these teams coming from up north, west, and the Gladiators, I mean, their distance isn't as much. They did bus down here at the end of a road trip, but even still, it is a tough trip, tough to play this many games this far away from home. Gladiators with a chance to get some momentum here. Late power play in the 3rd. And sportsmanlike conduct to Curtis Henry has him in the box. Gladiators on the power play. As Walter from the right circle pulls the puck in, burrows his way into the corner and puts it back up to the line of Nychuk. Now Young, right circle, delays to Nychuk. Back to Young, right point, down low. Pass is picked off by Landry. He'll skate it out and dump it down. 6:05 to go in the 3rd. Nychuk to Walter over their attacking line. Couldn't pull the puck in. It's another clear for Florida. Hyder will play it to his right to Young from the neutral zone. Shuffles it across. O'Brien from the left circle puts it in front of the net and doesn't even get there. Florida scrubs it to the line. Held in by Nychuk. Exchanges with O'Brien. He'll turn and shoot. Shot goes wide. Rebound contested for in the far corner. Walter quickly gets it to O'Brien. In front of the net, his shot is blocked. Throwing attempt held in by Nychuk. From the left circle, winds and fires. Save made, Johnson, and the puck is cleared. 37 seconds left on this Gladiator power play. 5:13 left in the 3rd. Francis over the red line. He's whirling down the middle. Francis backhands it to Orzek. He fires off the crossbar. Rebound comes to Francis again. Sets up Orzek for a pass to the inside. Ends up pinballing back to him. Has Francis on the left wing. Francis thinks about shooting but doesn't. He'll drift to his right and the puck is swiped off his stick by Romano. He'll go up by shorthanded. Romano stopped by Francis. Everblades play it back as out of the box is Henry. And away goes the Eco-Electric power play. Penny over the attacking line from the left wing. Puts it to the inside, swiped away off a stick. Nolan helps it out to center. 4:18 to go in the 3rd. Berzola powers through the neutral zone. Has Penny on the left wing. Penny cuts to the goal. Shot goes wide. Momentum carries out to center. Puck is fielded by Lansdell. He'll angle it off the stick of Cooper and in. Hyder out to play it. Shuffles it to Galloway. He'll backhand it off the wall to Denemy. Looking up ice. Puck will skitter in. Denemy in pursuit as the Gladiators get a change behind the scenes. 3:37 left in the 3rd. Lambden through the neutral zone. Bounces to the outside. He'll go around the net on his forehand. Now center for a shot off the side of the cage. Florida behind the net again. On the near side it is Duke. Puts it to the line. Henry to the right wing. Landry down low. Pass across to Duke from the left circle. Puck simmers down. Henry up top. Holds. Feeds Duke, and his shot goes out of play with 3:05 to go in the third. Frustration mounting for the Gladiators. Florida 5, Atlanta 1. One more timeout before we wrap this one up here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Florida 5, Atlanta 1, 3:05 to go in the third period. Lone Atlanta goal was scored by Mickey Burns on a 4-on-4, 6:04 into the third period. But tonight it has been all Florida. The rematch is set for Wednesday night at Gas South Arena. Get your tickets because that is going to be a must-see game with two of the South Division's best going at it in North Georgia. Face-off on the near circle, won by the Gladiators. Conroy swoops out to the left wing, feeds it to Young at center circle. Over the red line, he'll lift it into Florida ice. Everblades go back the other way as Sillinger over the red line fumbles a bit. Atlanta slaps it down to the left of Johnson. In the end, wall, Lansdale picks it up. Puck bounces in front, and Johnson on red alert is able to scoop it away from Walter before the Swede could do any damage. 2:41 to go in the third period. Make sure you're with us on Wednesday night for college night and the rematch between these two South Division teams. And Brick Party on Friday night as Jacksonville Icemen come to town. Brick Party brought to you by Atlanta BrickCon. As this, one of the oldest rivalries in the ECHL. Everblades came into the league in 1998. The Gladiators have been around in the Gwinnett County area since 2003. As they win a face-off, shot by Conroy, hammered off the end wall, McNamee with the rebound. Sets up Carabia at the line, feed it to his right. Burns is there, turning and shooting. Blocked in front, and the rebound hauled in by Landry. Exit attempt held in for now by Conroy. Second effort floated through the neutral zone, and it'll roll in near Hyder with a little over 2 minutes to play. Orzek motors over the red line. Bottled up by Romano. 2 minutes to play. Orzek gets it back on the near side now, trying to chop it forward. Nothing happening there. Long range shot into the glove of Johnson, and he will freeze it with 1:47 to play. This is the 214th all-time meeting between these two clubs. Atlanta is 82, 110, 21 against Florida. And this is a rivalry that the Gladiators had the upper hand in the early days with those great teams from 2003 to the late 2000s, and then things started to swing in Florida's favor. And prior to this season, the Everblades had won 15 straight against the Gladiators, but it seems like it's been a changing of the guard this year as Nertz takes a shot, glove save, Hyder. The last three have gone to the Gladiators, but all things considered, looks like this one belonged to Florida. The shot pinball is why we've got a delayed penalty here as Jarvis doesn't want to touch it up, and now they do. And behind the play, Lynn got swiped at, and Francis and the Gladiators are unhappy. And tempers flare, and the pot boils over. Late in the third period of this one again, the rematch on Wednesday nights. will have a few days to think about it, but no break in the action and no love lost between these two South Division foes. And it looks like Kalen Lynn going to be shown the door. He will be escorted off. It's a fist bump from Ethan Hyder. And Lynn's night has come to an end. 1:25 left in the game. And at this point, it's all just to set the stage for Wednesday night at Gas South Arena. Florida will not play another game until that matchup. The Gladiators will. They'll play the Tuesday night game in Greensboro, which was originally scheduled for 11:30 a.m. for a school game, but because of the winter storm that's made its way through North Georgia and the Carolinas, which seemingly has been no joke with the snow in Atlanta here today, that game has been moved from 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday night. And so the Gladiators will make their way to First Horizon Coliseum, as it's known now, to Greensboro for the first time since 2004. In about a moment, 20 years or so in the making, Gladiators return to North Carolina. We'll have it all for you on the Gladiators Broadcast Network Tuesday night, 6:40 pregame show, 7 o'clock puck drop from Greensboro, North Carolina. 1:15 to play. Conroy behind the net on his backhand. Steers it out to the neutral zone. Conroy doing himself. The L product from the left wing. Pulls up, slams it down. Nolan from the end wall tries to get a chunk of it, but it's cut off by Cooper, and a board battle ensues as we are into the final minute of the third period. 4-on-4 action again, as Henry and Lynn were both given penalties. Karevi at the blue line, pulls up and chucks it back. Jarvis skates over center red, now Florida blue. From the left wing, looks to the inside. Centering feet hits the skate of Scardina and clinks back to Jarvis. He'll put it up top to Karevi. 30 seconds left. Nolan sidesteps and shoots. Shot is blocked by Cooper. Lansdale will take it in, and this is going to be about it. Way behind Johnson. 15 seconds to go. We'll trade it off to Landry. And time is going to run out on this one, as Florida just tossing it around to drain the clock. Everblades came to play. They take this one 5-1 and snap the Gladiators' 7-game point streak. Florida Everblades get their first win of the season series. Atlanta leads at 3-1. The rematch is set for Wednesday night at Gas South Arena. College night in the building, but all things considered, first and foremost, it is the rematch. As Florida takes this one by the final score of 5-1. We'll wrap this one up on the other side of the break on the Gladiators postgame show and look ahead to Tuesday night in Greensboro, where the Gladiators make their way up to North Carolina for the first time since 2004. Talk all about it on the other side of the break. Final from Hertz Arena, Everblades 5, Gladiators 1. We are back in 30 seconds to wrap this one up and look ahead. Final score from Hertz Arena. The Everblades finally get the best of the Atlanta Gladiators. They win this one big. Final score 5-1 in favor of the home team. This is the final game the Gladiators will play at Hertz Arena. They finished the 4 games in this building this year with 3 wins and 1 loss. Not too bad considering the way things have gone for the Gladiators against this team over the last few years. Coming into the season, the Gladiators had lost 15 straight to these Everblades. It's a new era in Atlanta. They now lead the season series 3-1 after the loss here today. And they are on to Greensboro on Tuesday night. We'll talk about that after we recap this one. As once again, it's a 5-1 win for the Everblades. So here's how it all broke down. And it really felt right off the hop that the Everblades were the better team. And it was deja vu, Groundhog's Day is coming up, whatever you want to call it, from the first period of Friday night. The difference is in the second period, late the first really in that one, the Gladiators were able to get something going. In this one, not really much of anything all night long. And the Everblades score on the power play late in the first period. 5:14 left in the first period. Anthony Romano scores from Oliver Chow and Logan Lambden on the power play to make it 1-0 Florida. You move to the second period, and things don't get much better for the Gladiators. They're outshot 13-5 in the first period, only 14-13 in the second, but Florida capitalizes 3 times on some costly turnovers to take it from a 1-0 lead to a 4-0 hockey game. And first it was Sean Allen scoring 6:29 in off a turnover from the left wing, failed clearing attempt, whatever you want to call it. He fires into a screen and scores to make it 2-0. Less than a minute later, Jet Jones intercepts a pass in the neutral zone, cuts in on a breakaway and scores to make it 3-0. And then Craig Needham scores on the power play from Sambrook and Romano. The final minute of the second period, again, a shot into a screen. This time it's tipped by Needham into the back of the net for a 4-0 Florida lead. And at this juncture, I mean, nothing is going right for the Gladiators. I mean, they couldn't get any sustained offensive zone time all night long. And I mean, at this stage in the game, after 2 periods of play being down like that, they're just looking for something to go their way. And the one thing that did go their way was during a 4-on-4, 6:04 into the third period, Conroy takes a shot, Johnson makes a blocker save, and ends up hitting the leg of Mickey Burns and going into the back of the net. That's the Gladiators' only goal of the game, but at least they break the shutout bid for Cam Johnson. And they get a goal on the board and some positivity moving forward. Mickey Burns has his 5th of the year, and the Gladiators got something to go their way. But then, about 2 minutes later, Isaac Nurse scores on a 2-on-1, and that makes it a 5-1 final. And the Gladiators are outshot 32-25 in this game, and the rematch will be on Wednesday night at Gas South Arena. And I think what's important to remember here tonight is a handful of things. One, this is the Gladiators' 5th game in 7 days. They looked gassed. They looked tired, and you don't want to use it as an excuse, but it is what it is. The Gladiators at this stage in the season had not played this much hockey in a week's span of the course of the year. And so to go 3-1-1 over that 5-game slate throughout the course of the week, you take that. I mean, they're 4-1-1 on this road trip right now. You got one more game on Tuesday in Greensboro. They've logged a lot of days on this trip. They've been gone for almost 2 weeks by the end of this thing. It's been a long trip. And so for the Gladiators to play this well throughout the course of the road trip, they've exceeded expectations. And so at this stage, you take them where you can get them. Gladiators got 2 out of 3 here in South Florida in a building where they had not been able to win since 2023 coming into the season. So it's been a massive step in the right direction for this Gladiators crew. Ultimately on the wrong side of this one, but that's why you play 72 games, and you got a 7-game series. Gladiators need just one more win in their pocket to have possession of the head-to-head this season, and we'll get to see if they can do it on Wednesday night from Gas South Arena. But before we get to that, let's take a look at Tuesday night in Greensboro. This is the first time the Gladiators will make their way to First Horizon Coliseum, which is now under that name, formerly the home of the Greensboro Generals back in the day. The Generals ceased operations at the end of the 2003-04 season, which was actually the Gladiators' first season in Gwinnett County. So it was just 1 year the Gladiators played in North Carolina, in Greensboro against what was then known as the Generals. And now to return to pro hockey in the form of the Greensboro Gargoyles this year, the Gladiators will make their way to that same building almost 20-something years later after that. So I think that last game was played in 2004, early 2004, so it's going to be about 22 years since the last time the Gladiators played a game up in North Carolina. Going to be a lot of fun to watch, and so make sure you're with us on Tuesday night from First Horizon Coliseum, 7 o'clock puck drop, 6:40 pregame show. We'll have it all for you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. And that's a team that the Gladiators handled very well in their last and only meeting this season. Earlier in the year, Gladiators beat the Gargoyles 3-0. It was a team shutout. Centerville played much of it, but had a pad issue. Hydra had to come in and ended up splitting the shutout. It actually goes to the team, and so the Gladiators did handle the Gargoyles that day, and we'll see if they can make it another, as they'll play the Gargoyles 3 times this season. And the first time in North Carolina is on Tuesday night at First Horizon Coliseum. And so, tough break for the Gladiators here tonight. Again, not much going for them in this game, but you play 72 games in a season, and you're bound to get a few bad apples in the barrel, and this was one of them. And for the Gladiators, there haven't really been very many games this season where they've been out of a game like this. I think the only other one that comes to mind was the Savannah game, where the Ghost Pirates came in, scored them three goals in the opening 6 minutes of the game, and the Gladiators were really just out of that one once that all went down. And kind of a similar story in this game. Once the Everblades got up to 2-3 in the third period there, or excuse me, in the second period there, it really felt like it was about done. Nothing was really going in the Gladiators' way, and the important thing is to remember it's always about the bounce back, right? Keep in mind, the last time the Gladiators faced a tough loss like this, yeah, they did lose 3 games in a row, but consider the fact that afterwards, Atlanta ripped off a 7-game point streak, going 6-0-1 before their loss here today, and did the majority of that on the road. So there's going to be some bumps along the way. I mean, it's never smooth sailing to the playoffs, the Kelly Cup final, the Kelly Cup itself. I mean, it's never a smooth path. And just ask these guys, the Everblades. They've been there. They know that. And for the Gladiators, this is a team that is still moving at lightning pace towards the top of the division. They lose this game today. They do fall to 27-10-1 on the season, still stuck at 55 points. And the Everblades now up to 58 at 26-9-5-1. But there's plenty of games left in the season. The Gladiators have games in hand, and you still have the head-to-head, and that Wednesday night rematch is going to be Penny Break. So make sure you get your tickets at AtlantaGladiators.com if you're looking for a specific package. And you got a group coming, make sure you call 770-497-5100, and one of our great members of our ticket staff will get you all squared away as we look ahead to Greensboro on the final game of this road trip on Tuesday night from First Horizon Coliseum. That'll wrap things up for us here in South Florida. Gladiators fall in their final game in this building in the regular season, but something tells me that we might be back when the weather gets a little bit warmer and we get closer to the spring. These two teams have been some of the South Division's best. Gladiators looking to bounce back on Tuesday night. And the old saying, Bill Belichick, in terms of football, the classic quote, we're on to Cincinnati, we're on to Cincinnati. Well, for the Gladiators, put this one in the review mirror, we are on to Greensboro. We're on to Greensboro. That'll do it for us here. Final score, Florida 5, Atlanta 1. I'd like to thank the Everblades for their hospitality here throughout the course of this week. And thank you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. Once again, your final score, Florida 5, Atlanta 1. I'm Guy Chiarenza saying good night, stay warm, stay safe, stay out of the snow, and we are on to Greensboro.